to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A hit and run takes the life of one teenager and injures another in Wadowee. Police are charging 18-year-old Jackson Pinkard with manslaughter and first-degree assault, as well as leaving the scene of an accident. Jamarcus Nelson was the teen pronounced dead at the scene, while a 13-year-old female had to be transported to Children's of Alabama. A pilot whose plane went down in Selma this past weekend is now recovering at a Montgomery hospital. Ali Kasala is the pilot and the only person on board the plane when it went down. He had to undergo surgery due to injuries to his lower legs. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
It's Johnny from Sinclair's from Bond Road. We've been in business almost 30 years.
Sinclair's East. Juanette Taylor.
I think if you hadn't tried us, you should give us a try. We've got a great menu, offered anything from chicken fingers, wings, salads, fajitas. At lunchtime, we do great country lunch with different vegetables and different meats every day.
Sinclair's, where you get great sandwiches and our daily meat at 3 special at lunch, to great pasta, chicken, steaks, and seafood for dinner.
Our most popular items are, we got a soup called she crab soup, which is extremely popular. We've got a bunch of pasta dishes, which people love. Mediterranean chicken is my favorite.
Sinclair's.
We do live music, light stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe 3-piece bands or 4-piece bands.
Come and see why Sinclair's has seen lesser restaurants come and go over the years. Johnny Sullivan Sinclair's, at the corner of Vaughn and Taylor. Find them on Facebook at Sinclair's East. Google search Sinclair's Restaurant. Sinclair's.
Hey, we're David and Greg Figueroa,
founders of Melinda's Hot Sauce.
Sometimes brand testimonials feel, well, unbelievable.
So we have a fresh take. Tastemonials.
Comments from real people on the internet who love Melinda's balance of hot meat and fresh, flavorful ingredients.
At 2021 DoWork says, legendary. Nobody does it better.
What was that?
Sounds for fire emoji, touchdown emoji, and 100% emoji.
Okay. At Snack Food Mafia says, I love how they were a thicker hot sauce and not some watery junk.
Love it. At Mushroom writes, best hot sauce west of the Mississippi, also the best hot sauce east of the Mississippi.
Pro tip, that's the whole United States.
Finally, at IGP1 always says, smack so hard.
We love to hear that as much as the FCC.
Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's hot sauces. Find them at your local retailer or online at melindas.com. That's MELINDAS.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon here on a lovely Monday here in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. That's why we're calling the show online Joey Clark Live. You can always watch it on YouTube or the X platform. Don't even spare your time with the Book of... Waste your time with the Book of Faces. Spare yourself. Eddie Bader's here in the studio.
How you doing, Joey?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty well.
Good weekend?
Pretty good, yeah. Pretty good weekend.
Yeah?
Got out on the boat. Showed some houses, got to hang out with Jay Quellen for a little bit.
All right.
Showing houses, by the way, with Jay Quellen, so fun, because when we're separated and she's in another room or another part of the house, you hear, oh my God, Eddie, you got to come see this.
She does get excited, man.
She is so fun, so fun. But yeah, I had a good weekend. How about you?
A great weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used to just me and my grandfather, and we're two kind of like, we're very stoical.
Two bachelors.
And actually, we're pretty clean.
Yeah.
Like, we don't leave a lot of stuff out. So they'll like go into the living room right now. There's like a blankie on the ground with a bunch of toys.
Yeah.
And one of those bouncy things a baby can get in.
Yes.
With all sorts of gadgets that you can mess around with.
So I guess
and
you had some
bottles
guests.
all over the place. Yeah, my brother came down with the baby, my brand new niece. Now 7 months old.
7 months.
7 months old, yeah. And she is just, she's great. You know, when I first saw her, like, I guess 3 months in, like, she was kind of a little lump there, adorable little lump, but didn't do much other than sleep and eat. And now she's just faces, reacting to what you say. I fed her, like, held her, fed her. In fact, I didn't know.
Kind of a moving experience for you, bud?
No, I didn't know whether or not to start the show this way, but I did write about it.
Good.
Now, one of the things, I used to do this for Christmas. It was requested by some people. And it's one of the last things that I read to my mother before she passed away. It could be read at Christmas time. It could be read around Easter. It could be read at any time. In fact, it was written to be read to children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Oscar Wilde's The Selfish Giant. And there's one quote from that near the end that says, quote, "And the trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying around and twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing." Now, until recently, folks, I have never had occasion to feel like a giant. I am hardly a tall man. In fact, I can only recall once being asked to reach for something for someone else. That someone else being a short, hairy little man with a thick Indian accent who approached me in the men's section of Target.
But you were there to help, weren't you?
Well, his shopping cart was full of boxes of men's hair dye. Dozens and dozens of boxes of men's hair dye. Yet what seemed like too many to me apparently wasn't quite enough for him. He told me the few remaining boxes at the back of the shelf were just out of his reach. Upon grabbing them for him, he said, "You're my hero, sir." As the odd little man carted away the store's entire stock of men's black hair dye, I wondered if he was dyeing all of his body hair at once, or just saving up for a rainy day. I guess I'll never know. Nevertheless, I did feel a little bit taller that day, though I hardly felt like a hero or a giant for such a small act of courtesy that anyone over 5'5" could have accomplished. But while I am not a tall man, my walls grow taller by the day. The older I become, the more I build up walls around my heart. My gates are warped tight, selfishly shut for my own protection against would-be trespassers. I made my world smaller by defensive design, wary of that wicked world outside my walls, suspicious of society's fickle imposition, especially of those imposing in the name of serving the collective need. Man is no doubt a social animal. Through others, he comes to know himself and his needs. But man's needs do not give him a right to another's abilities. Alas, when the nebulous collective need becomes the primrose path to political power and privilege, man's needs will become insatiable and without end, as his abilities inevitably atrophy. Men must be free if they are to flourish and furnish a future for the select few they choose to love and let inside. A man need not open his heart to the whole world either, else his heart becomes hardened and weathered. Walls and gates have their place. In fact, any man who claims to love the whole world most likely lusts to rule over it, whether he is conscious of his lust or not. It is not public glories, accolades, or awards that make men feel like giants, but the most intimate and small of loves. Until recently, I have never had occasion to feel like a giant. Until recently, the gates to my walls were selfishly shut to newcomers, wary of a world full of contrived needs and false compulsory compassions. Yet the smallest of newcomers recently opened the gates to my heart with the most honest and basic of needs. There I was, my 6-month-old niece in my arms, a bottle resting in my hand, watching her suckle for more formula. She looked so happy in the purest sense of the word. My brother, her father, had asked me to feed her a bottle so he could have 5 minutes to simply take a shower. It was the least I could do. Minutes are precious things for a parent when taking care of a baby. At first, I didn't think much of it. Of course, I can feed her easy, piece of cake. I thought, having never fed a baby. It was easy, practically speaking. But as I watched my baby niece enjoy her second breakfast in my arms, it dawned on me that I was engaged in something much more than a small act of courtesy. Certainly something much more than helping a hairy little man extend his reach for another box of hair dye. This was something I knew I would never forget, the welcoming of a new family member into my heart. I confess, holding tiny little her, I felt myself a selfish giant, one who did not deserve to hear the flowers of his garden laugh again. My gates had been selfishly warped shut for so long that winter had become my soul's only season, and I had grown accustomed to this cold without hope of thaw. Yet there they were, the flowers, looking up through the green grass and laughing at the picture of this precious child feeding in my arms. Though I'm still wary of the world outside my walls, my gates will always be open to her. My abilities freely and forever in service to her needs. So, that's how my weekend went.
Sounds like a pretty good weekend, Joe.
It was a pretty awesome weekend.
Yeah.
It's just great seeing my brother take the moment. And by the way, he did need to take a shower, but this was a strategic move on his part.
Yeah.
He's like, because it happened to him, he's like, yeah, she was a little lump, and then I started feeding her, and yeah, it's a bonding thing. It's a very real thing with the bonding. So yeah, it was a great time.
Excellent.
Wholesome. Yeah. We can watch something funny, we can get frustrated about politics, but there's nothing like family, especially brand new family,
Right.
that you get to see grow up in front of you.
That's exactly right.
Let's go to Jean. Hey, Jean, how you doing?
Just fine. That's what I was calling about, to find out about Miss Lucy.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's a big part of what happened this weekend.
All right, and I'm glad you got to hold her.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not gone yet. I'll be holding her later.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, all right. I love you.
Love you too, Jean.
See you, Jean.
Bye-bye.
272-9228. And because I was distracted with family stuff, I didn't look at the news all weekend. But pretty crazy stuff happened in the Middle East. In particular, the helicopter crash that killed...
That was a hard landing.
Iran's president.
As soon as I read hard landing, I went, oh, they just ain't broke the real news yet.
And then the Israelis are like, it wasn't us. It wasn't...
But they don't regret him being gone. Let's be honest.
Apparently, there were celebrations across Iran.
Yeah. He's known as the Butcher.
Ah. Yeah. But celebrations like fireworks, folks. Yeah, maybe they ain't that different than
They
us.
celebrate people a little bit different over there when people die.
Well, is there anybody we would knock off fireworks if they got knocked off?
I don't want to say it on the radio. I look like a pig enough times without me.
Well, I guess the last time somebody got killed and everybody cheered was Osama bin Laden.
I didn't lose any sleep over that one.
Right.
But I'm not like some people who have bottles of champagne with those enemies' names on them, and when they go down, he pops a cork and drinks it.
My goodness. Yeah, there are some people that are just vindictive and vicious to the end.
And yeah, they show you the champagne bottle before you ever go down, and then years later, man. Yeah.
So that's nuts. Also breaking, and this has to do with the Middle East, the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Bibi Netanyahu, as well as the leaders of Hamas. Because they're the same.
Right. There you go. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when security at the mall tells you to stop.
Right.
You just keep moving.
More breaking news internationally. Julian Assange wins right to appeal his extradition to the United States.
Really?
Which is a huge lifeline to Julian. People thought he was about to be locked up and never seen again.
Assumed it was done, yeah.
No. The British court is giving him the right to appeal this, saying they're a little worried the American government is not able to give guarantees that the Brits were satisfied with.
Yeah, ever since the old Epstein.
And then, of course, the the campaigning continues where, they're going back to the old playbook because they're seeing the numbers, the poll numbers that we constantly report on, that Biden is in particular losing black Americans.
Did you notice you didn't watch the news this weekend, but apparently he was on parade somewhere, his parade of vehicles, and nobody showed up. He rode through town
through Atlanta. He spoke at Morehouse.
That's where he spoke, Morehouse. Yeah,
and we'll get to that clip in a second. But
thing.
Here's another clip. I think this came out today, and this is a gaffe that others have committed. I'm thinking of Chuck Schumer. But this is Biden, talking about those dastardly Republicans who are, causing him issues.
Oh.
Let's see what he's talking about here.
He calls the Erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
What?
What?
He calls the what? Patriots?
He calls the Erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
The Erectionists. Now, I'll take that all day, every day. Yep, we on the right. We're Erectionists.
Well, Trump had his fair share of struggles this weekend, too. Obviously, you didn't see him in the podium.
Oh, yeah, Trump was having a lot of fun this weekend.
That was hysterical, by the way.
Oh, like, Trump's rallies are much more fun than Biden.
Yes.
And my main takeaway from Biden's speech at Morehouse in particular is he looked angry and like he was, on some sort of upper.
Well, how many times did he blink?
You're right. How dilated are those pupils, so to speak? Now, let's go to the Morehouse speech from Biden, or at least a little snippet of it. Let's listen into President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.
Our family became my redemption. Many of you have gone through similar or worse and even worse things. But you lean on others. They lean on you. And together you keep the faith in a better day tomorrow. But it's not easy. I know 4 years ago, as some of your speakers have already mentioned, it felt like one of those Saturdays. The pandemic robbed you of so much. Some of you lost loved ones, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, who aren't able to be here to celebrate with you today.
You know, before he even gets into the meat of it, like I've been saying for years now, that it always sounds like the old man is giving a frickin' eulogy. Yeah. It's always dark and gloomy in Joe Biden's mind. Everything is dark and gloomy, except for me. I'll save you.
Well, Joey, maybe you'll live long enough one day to have sundowners too, and you understand what he's going through.
Sundowners? Oh, sun's going down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, so the decline of the nation is really a projection of all these people in personal decline?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's always so gloomy. So you are so without. That's why I need my help, man. Yeah, I almost wrote about, thank God my brand new niece showed up in town, because
I'm glad some light came into your life.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to my brother about it. I'm like, everything I want to say is it's BS. It's BS. It's such poppycock BS, balderdash malarkey, as Joe would say. And I'm not just talking about Democrats. I'm talking about the Republicans too. Vote for me and your life will be better. Vote for me and the other side won't have control over you as much as it's a lie. It's not true.
Right now, people are going to fall for it. I won't say fall for it. People are going to lean into that.
Yeah.
Their life is so bad. Yeah, Trump can make it better. It was better when he was here before. Certainly be better again.
Yeah, at one point in the speech, though, Biden says that these black graduates, they're at Morehouse, good and great institution.
Yeah.
He says that Republicans, to these graduates, Republicans don't see you in future of America.
Okay.
And, we'll play it in a second. Al Sharpton interview, the guy who's running for the 2nd Congressional District. He's the Democrats' nominee, Shamari Figures.
Okay.
And I think at one point he says, yeah, Trump's a throwback. Trump's like a throwback to stuff we saw in this state years ago.
Oh, interesting.
If we want to have an honest conversation, it's not just me who's tired of this crap.
Can't have one.
Real tired of it. No wonder people shut up these days, because we're tired of the BS.
Mm-hmm.
And we're especially tired of politicians who play on the BS, who sell you a line that they are your savior when they are not. They are your masters. They are your overlords. They are the nobles controlling the serfs. And I'm not talking about just Democrats. Again, I'm talking about all sides. These folks sell you a bill of goods, whether they know it or not. Well, maybe that's worse. There's some who are all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go change the nation. As you service the donors at the same time, right?
Right.
But here's Joe continuing at Morehouse.
Right.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. and there was a reckoning on race.
Yeah, really.
It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
A standing ovation.
Yeah, I got applause because, you know, America today in the 2020s, it's just like the 1920s when amazing brigades of black Americans who fought in World War I were, you know, threatening to be lynched. Same thing. Same exact thing.
I think if some people could have it that way, they would.
Well,
being one of them.
I said in that little thing I wrote up that if somebody's need becomes the primrose path, which is like the easiest path. Oh, this is the glide path. This is the best way. When your need, I'm so without. I want, grievance. Blah, blah. When that becomes the primrose path to power, your needs will be never met. Your needs will be insatiable. You will never be happy. If instead you go to the best of your own personal abilities and voluntarily go actually help out the people you love and maybe stop killing one another, yeah, I think life gets a lot better. But as long as you're going to these liars, I want to say something else, and expecting them to help you and give you a helping hand, I think you're in for a rude awakening.
I know you are.
And, you know, for all this talk of Trump's a throwback and Republicans want to go back to the past, we ain't the ones stuck in the past. And the more that you try to relive, say, the 1960s, the more you cheapen it. And the more you tear away at what was, it seemed, a consensus in this country. I guess not anymore. 272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a break.
All right.
I just kind of want to go home and play with the baby.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Get Memorial Day savings all month at Lexus of Montgomery. New Lexus IS 300, only $463 a month. Like the new ES 350, now just $535 a month. Luxury doesn't have to be out of your budget. And with Memorial Day savings all month, there's never been a better time to drive a new Lexus. Memorial Day savings ends soon, so rush to Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. VIN number RU 241057 3999. Do it signing 5,000 mile lease. VIN number R 513 0706 4527. Do it signing 10,000 mile lease with 36 months with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, doc fee. Expires 6/4/24.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Hi, everybody. Starting off this brand new week on a good note with dry, warm, storm-free, great late May weather. Mostly sunny today with a high around 88, and that's actually close to normal. Mainly clear, comfortable tonight, low 64. More sun tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow, near 90 Wednesday and Thursday. Widely scattered storms holding off till about Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. And you know, while we were looking at everything else, Eddie, did you see that Michael Cohen admitted to stealing essentially $60,000 from the Trump organization?
I saw where, I didn't know the amount, but I saw where he admitted to stealing money.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, he already recorded the guy illegally.
$60,000.
That's petty chump change.
Well, but also that's a higher degree of crime than what Trump is charged with.
Yeah, but it's Michael Cohen.
Right.
Nah, come on. Nah.
As long as we can get Trump right.
Yeah, that's what tends to matters here, apparently.
But, you know, going back to the last segment, that Biden speech at Morehouse, I think it's a sign of deep worry. People are looking at the polls going, oh, crap.
There's no doubt, but this is the same guy who got away with saying how many years ago, if you ain't black.
Oh, that was in 2020. You don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Now, the same guy in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, who said, I don't want my kids going to public school because it's the jungle, because there were black people there. But somehow...
Oh, yeah, Biden did say something like that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, he did. He fought that tooth and nail, but somehow he's supposed to be the leadership.
Wait, was that Biden or Alicia Keys?
It was Biden.
Oh, okay.
Biden.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of?
I do like Alicia Keys, though.
Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
What's up, Red Top?
Hey, guys. Boy, that was a Five-Nation Saturday storm that we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, man. Had some people in my family lost their house.
Out there, and we got some lightning. As a result, you know, when the lightning strikes and it interacts with the oxygen, and you get nitrates, and so my trees grew 2 feet yesterday, and my grass grew 3 inches. I feel like I need to cut every day. But let me tell you about Clark Atlanta University. I have been to it because black colleges don't scare me. As you know, I went to a black college. And they're super nice guys over there. They're really smart.
Sure.
And one reason why I really liked it, they had an excellent jazz station, 90.7 Clark Atlanta University.
Mm-hmm.
And they played some of my music. And no, it was not Hells Angeles. It was real jazz, because I do jazz too. And our first gig in Atlanta was the Jazz Festival. And Jerry Branson was the program director. They were very, very nice to me. Didn't give me any racial attitude. And I thought the attitude at Biden's speech yesterday was very subdued. They really didn't care like he was there.
Well, and a lot of students walked out, but it was over Gaza and Israel.
Oh. Well, they love to say that on the news for political purposes, but I just think because they didn't give a damn.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, the people who walked out were pretty vocal about why they were.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's been happening at a lot of different commencement
overall,
speeches.
Oh, yes. It's unbelievable, man, you know. Guys, this ain't I don't know how we can, the Democrats and all these prosecutors can be that bad at what they're doing to where they've lost almost all the cases.
Mm-hmm.
It's spent about $1 billion trying to do that across federal and state lines. God, you can't tell me these guys ain't spent a lot of money trying to put Donald Trump in jail. So, I don't think it's going to work this time either, Joey, do you?
No, I think all it's doing is helping Trump, and I thought about over the weekend. I think this debate early, being just next month, is sort of a trial balloon. See if the old man crumbles on the spot, and then they could actually switch it up at the convention.
Why is everybody saying Trump is at a disadvantage? I don't get it.
Because it's on CNN with Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, but most of your, if not all of your corporate media outlets are going to be against Trump.
I know. But look who he's debating. Good God, this seems like a slaughter to me.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that going into the 2021.
That's true too.
Gosh, so I hope I don't want a slaughter of anybody, but mentally I don't mind roll Tide go Trump. Thank you.
Well, and also I don't often, if ever in life, I don't know if you get this. Like I've talked, say, black-white issues with folks, race issues with folks, and you don't get the accusatory language that you only really hear in politics.
Mainly, I think that's because it's more of a face-to-face, honest discussion.
Right, as opposed to just means of manipulation. Yeah. Republicans and Democrats.
Oh, they're both.
The people you vote for do not use language to communicate with you honestly. They use language to manipulate you and to pit you against your neighbor.
Yep.
And somehow that's going to make us better.
How many neighbors, and there's a percentage out there too, were willing to tell on their neighbors for not getting vaxxed, for not wearing masks, things like that? It was like a third. It was a chunk of people that loved to do nothing but be able to tell on Joey. That was, to me, one of the scarier parts about COVID, where I thought neighbors had each other's back, but I found out that wasn't the case.
No, that's one of the huge lessons from East Germany with the Stasi. People think it was like people having their, feet being held to the fire,
right.
Screws put to them. Now, early in Stalin, there's some pretty awful things I don't even want to repeat they would do to torture people.
Mm-hmm.
But in East Germany more, it was a weird status thing to where, you would tell on your neighbor.
Yeah, just not down with that at all.
And that still exists in people.
Oh,
you saw it for a fact during COVID.
I mean, I never considered that. I always thought we had each other's backs, at least on that issue.
Nope.
Not at all, man.
No, and the worst with the press.
Yeah.
Like I know some law enforcement people where the press were calling up going, I think the Muslims are holding prayer services still at somebody's house. And it's like, who cares?
Right. That's the part
mind your own damn business.
I just didn't get. And by the way, we all realized that was a big fraud.
And did you see last week that Senator Paul got scientists to affirm that, there was gain-of-function research in Wuhan? The NIH admits to funding that gain-of-function research.
But
Dr. Francis Collins finally admits COVID likely came from the lab.
But this many years down the road, how many lives did they ruin of people saying that up front, Joe?
Right. And then Francis Collins went on to say there was no science behind social distancing or forced human separation, as you might want to call it.
Then if that's the case, why aren't we holding people's feet to the fire?
Oh, it was the fog of war.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That was the test, and I think we failed it.
No, and I'm not sitting here claiming that I was like the man who solved through it all there at the beginning. I did not. I was scared as much as the next guy. But pretty quickly, a few months in, we're like, something is deeply wrong here.
Scam is a scam is a scam, man.
Now, to continue the thread here, this is the Washington Examiner. It says, black voters fleeing Biden and Democrats over inflation and extremism.
Well, when they say inflation, they don't count some of the things, though, that you and I and everyone has to pay price for. Gasoline and food.
Right. Oh, yeah, they take that out of the calculation.
Those are the two major things. Energy and food are the two major things we have to survive in the world we live in. So that's a fake.
This is why Biden's there at Morehouse. This is why every Sunday talk show is about this issue. And, the main way to get folks back in line is scare them about the other side.
No.
They're just like Bull Connor, right?
Seems to work, but yeah.
Trump's a lot of things, but he ain't Bull Connor.
No.
Trump's a lot of things, but he ain't Hitler. His daughter literally converted to Judaism, and she's raising her children to be Jewish. Like, what the hell are you? Get better insults. Get better bad guys.
Do you think Maxine Waters knows this information?
Yeah.
She's just misinformed, Joey.
But it's a new survey from Signal conducted in 20 states. Democrats are struggling to maintain their edge with black voters and women, two traditionally reliable Democrat voting blocs. And it's mostly due to the kitchen table issues not being addressed, as the Democrats try to go to more extreme rhetoric to woo voters back to them. And it's not really working in the way it has in the past.
What about Maxine saying that people are going in the hills taking sniper lessons? That's not working?
No, that didn't. That did not work.
That was a good one. 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 That was a good one.
And then also, there are a lot of voters that see the whole like Gazan war that Israel's conducting as like Joe's supporting it. And they don't like it.
Right.
Because there is a mainline thought on the left that's been around for a while that the Palestinians are just like the Native Americans. The Palestinians are just like enslaved Africans here in the Americas.
Case at all. You're right about that false narrative, but that is not the case at all.
That's the narrative.
If that were the case, how come their back door, which backs up to Egypt, is locked tighter than the front door? Because Egypt don't want them either.
Well, the Jordanians don't either.
Right.
Right.
So why are we having to take them, Joe?
Well, because Israel shouldn't exist, right?
I don't agree with that.
It's a colonizer from day one. Yeah, but if you look, you'll sure find that there's always been a colonized mind in society, no matter who's doing the imposition.
Right.
It's almost like the devil came around long before all these bad guys we created in the 20th century.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Urbanite.
Hey, Urbanite.
Hey, this is in regards to yesterday's show. The Republican Party has got to get a retort and get it out in the public about January 6th. So that was probably one of the most powerful lines he was able to say yesterday when he lied and said if the people had been black, Trump would have shot him. It needs to be known that Nancy was in control of the grounds of the Capitol. And she squelched him as he wanted to bring National Guard.
Well, no, that's just playing to people's own petty prejudice and bigotry. And there ain't going to be much to change that. You literally had something of a controlled experiment. It wasn't like, say, Secret Service and D.C. police started shooting people when St. John's Church was being burned to the ground and people were beating down the fences of the White House.
Oh, I agree. But you got to look at how...
Well, and also, I want to push back because I think Biden's saying stuff like that because there are more and more people that go, we don't buy that January 6th was this huge desecration of the temple of democracy.
More and more, right.
Like, people, I think, are tired of hearing about it.
Well, I think more and more people, too, are coming around to the idea of that was just an inside job.
Right.
Yeah, but when he says it the way he says it, it has more punch than it really has.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are people, I'm sure, on that side that long for that kind of talk, kind of get them pumped up again.
Well, it's similar to like going to like a right-wing militia meeting, going, they're going to take your guns.
You got to get them pumped up, right?
And it's not, you're not going to change a lot of that, but I think younger voters are getting wiser to the shenanigans both parties pull on them and the manipulation.
Hey, a side note, Joey, are you getting a little bit more respect for Saturday Night Live now?
Not really.
You don't think the materials got more sophisticated and better?
I don't watch.
No, I don't. I watch clips every once in a while. Every once in a blue moon, they do have a funny skit.
If I want to watch something funny, I put on Two Bears, One Cave or Kill Tony or Fake Dr. Phil.
Fake Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil Live.
Love it.
Yeah, I would encourage you to go back and look at the Ryan Gosling episode.
That one was good with the Beavis and the Butthead.
Yeah, no, and if there's young folks making great comedy, it doesn't bother me.
I got you. All right, you guys. Have a good one.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
What up, dog?
You just remember this, though, okay? Poor kids are just bright and talented as white kids. That is key to remember.
What about the poor white kids?
What about
Stop quoting Biden like it's your own words, all right?
He's quoting leadership, Joey. Don't get mad at the guy.
No, I just don't plagiarize. You're not a president.
I was trying
to
plagiarize just like the president.
Yeah.
I was trying to mimic him in every fork and family.
And I still, truly, if Trump gets back into office, I want George Santos to legally change his name to President Gay and then to be appointed press secretary for Donald Trump.
Oh, please. I would
Santos
pay
ain't
for
out
that.
yet.
I would contribute to his campaign.
Yeah.
He's not done yet.
Why would you want such a thing? Because I want to have fun.
Right.
And stop
I think he
playing
needs to
into this
dress up in
manipulative
full drag
bullcrap.
when he goes to.
Say that again?
I want him to dress up in full drag, too. I think that's his new uniform when he shows up.
Oh.
If Fetterman can wear jogging pants, he can wear his full regalia. I'm down for it. I'm here.
Yeah, but
for
that's
the
just going to invite others to do that. And
Look, it's a circus anyway. You might as well. I might as well get what I.
You're right. It is a circus.
Joe needs to stop wearing their sweatpants so it looks like a grandfather clock.
Yeah.
You got to set the time again, huh? It's always 6:30. I don't understand.
Watch the pendulum swing. It's physics.
What's up, Katie? Like my pants.
Well, I'm happy to make you laugh, Eric.
I gotta go.
Hey, dog.
272-9228. Yeah, and the polling continues to come out. Again, this is what's freaking people out. This is from Harvard Harris polling. Trump is beating Biden 49 to 43%, which means Trump has gained a point since their last poll. Biden has stayed in the same place. With leans, like who's leaning to somebody, you add that to the equation. Trump has 53% nationwide, Biden 47%. When you throw in RFK Jr., by the way, Trump in that was only +2 in March. He's now what? +6?
+6, yeah.
And so when you throw RFK Jr. in there, Trump is 45, Biden's 40, RFK Jr. is 14%. Daggum.
There's a lot of hope in that one.
And when asked, a spokesman was asked about RFK Jr. joining Trump and Biden on the debate stage. It was a Trump spokesman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I actually think
it was
a very attractive woman who was asked about this. Trump has a lot of those good-looking ladies that, end up speaking for him or something. He does seem to like really good-looking women for some reason.
They soften the blow of hard news a lot easier, Joey.
Smart, good-looking women, if that makes any sense. But this is the spokeswoman here. Let's just play it.
I said, Michael, the way this works is if you have truthful information about Donald Trump, that's clearly what they're looking for, I can have all your legal problems solved by the end of the week. His response, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything on Donald Trump.
That was Michael Cohen's former legal advisor, Robert Costello, testifying before the House Weaponization Committee on Capitol Hill Wednesday about his interactions with President Trump's former lawyer as Cohen was on the stand in Trump's hush money trial. Cohen is expected to be back on the witness stand in Trump's New York trial.
And by the way,
tomorrow.
this is Maria Bartiromo.
Bartiromo?
And that trial's not going well.
Really?
It's not going well for Michael Cohen. I just don't think it is. I'm trying to skip ahead here, see, about the RFK Jr. factor.
Okay.
Campaign National Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Caroline, you may have heard my interview at the top of the show with RFK Jr. He took a few shots at Trump. He wants to be on that debate stage. He said these two people shut down the economy, drove up the debt. I should be on the campaign stage because I am eligible. What does Trump feel about that?
President Trump has said he has absolutely no problem with RFK Jr. being on that debate stage, even though RFK Jr. is not polling very well. But it's Joe Biden who has the real issue with RFK Jr. participating in these debates, because Joe Biden knows that RFK Jr. pulls more votes from him than he does from President Trump. That's because RFK Jr. is a radical leftist. He campaigned for Obama and Hillary in the past election cycles. He supports a 70% income tax on the American people. His energy agenda is more on brand with communist China than the United States of America. He's a radical leftist, but President Trump has no problem debating him.
I just love the election year, right?
Everybody
Let me
gets so
just
excited.
list off a bunch of stuff, and is it actually true or not? Who cares?
But that's our problem. We let all this kind of BS fly and go, well, it'll sort out. Or it sorts out 2 and 3 years later.
And I got a long, very detailed group email from a well-known person in town here talking about the crime problem and the shootings in particular.
What shootings?
And it had all the stats and all these facts and figures. And I'm like, why do we as Americans need all that? Show me all the facts and figures and give me all your talking points. It's like, hey, you could just, pay attention.
You got time for that, Joey. Plus, dude, I'm working. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Somebody else is doing their job.
We just put everything into this weird statistical pseudoscience as opposed to, following our hearts going, people are being killed on the street. We don't have enough police. That's simple.
But it's not that simple, because you get the BS excuse from the other side. We're trying to hire. We're doing this. We're doing that. Meanwhile, things are really getting worse.
We'll try harder.
It's always tough.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, they can help you fellas out with those, problems that can occur as men mature. One that's more acute is erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
And that's no fun. ED is always a letdown, so to speak.
Right.
Or might be a more general problem leading to that ED, like low testosterone. And these are not problems to deny, put off, or be ashamed about. Not something to wait to get fixed. I know guys hate going to the doctor. I certainly hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. And the reality is, gentlemen, that pills often quit working over time, and guys start making excuses for not coming to bed. Don't be one of those guys. No. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, always tired, including a loss in your sex drive, well, perhaps you're seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass. You just feel like you're walking through your life in a fog.
Yeah.
Knowing whether you have low T is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, usually even notice an increased libido, which is just a fancy Latin word for sex drive.
No.
You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. We got to hit this break. Be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Good morning. Do you have time for lunch today? My treat.
Absolutely. But what's the occasion?
I'm in love with the new 24/7 Express kiosk at Worth Cleaners. The kiosk is so easy to use, and I can drop off and pick up on my schedule. Thank you for sharing that tip with me.
You're welcome. I'm happy to have my lunch buddy back.
Have you tried the new Worth Cleaners 24/7 Express kiosk? This is the first service of its kind in Montgomery. Customers love the convenience of dropping off and picking up dry cleaning and laundry on their schedule, day or night, 365 days a year. Even if you've never used Worth Cleaners before, you can go to their location at 7825 Vaughn Road today and use their 24/7 Express kiosk. Instructions along with several descriptive photos are posted on the wall next to the kiosk to aid customers who are first-time users. Give it a try. Visit our Vaughn Road location or find Worth Cleaners on Facebook for more information. Your family's clothing is worth it.
This is James Cole with Cole Plumbing, and I want to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. I have been advertising with them for several years, and they have brought me quality business. I really appreciate them.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
At Guardian Credit Union, we believe that banking should be personal, just like the relationships we build with members. Imagine a place where you're not just a credit score, but a valued part of our community. At Guardian, our dedicated team takes the time to listen, understand, and tailor financial solutions that fit your unique needs. From buying a car to saving for college and even starting a small business, we've got you covered. Come experience the Guardian difference and let's achieve your financial goals together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. That's 334-272-9228. That's the number Crawdad dialed. Hey, Crawdad, how you doing?
Hey, I was listening to you talking about your niece and how beautiful that is. Two things that comes to mind. I have been Uncle Sam many times. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You held the future in your hands, Joey Clark. I want to say the second thing. My country hurts me and the world hurts me so much I have to be concise and articulating as best as possible. a lot of pain going on here, many things, but I love the concept of America. I am an American patriotic person because I love my concept of the idea of America. When I see what's happened in the past and happening in America, it hurts me seeing how things really have been and how are things coming. It's just the only way we, the people, as it starts in the Constitution, can take our ideas back is to not let other people go up there and mess it up like doing. People like yourself, people like Eddie over there. Eddie, you owe me a fish, I think.
Yes, sir.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Carp's fine, okay?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but really, it hurts me when I turn my brother, little mud bug, you know, my plague and my joy, my little brother. When my mom told me, she says, I remember the day in the chair I was sitting in. I was only 5. She says, how would you like to have a little brother? I was elated. I was so happy. Okay. 57 years later, I don't know if we're both still happy. But it is beautiful. Family and your tribe is how we take our idea of America back. One thing, one at a time, your family, and then connect the families together to create a nation. These people up there in the swamp, they're a bunch of gators, and I would usually one time I would say raccoons, but I'm not going to hold anything against a trash panda like these bastards up there. Go back, please. I will run my mouth another day and tell me why we still have people on January the 6th treated like we are in Russia.
Agreed.
Tell me. And God bless you, and you're a wonderful person. Tell us more whenever you get to be Uncle Joey again. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Seeing the world grow up for the future. That's the future right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Crawdad.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one, Crawdaddy.
Yeah, it was a very good weekend. Great having family and welcoming new family, truly.
And you did some cooking, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I made some steak.
Were you the man?
Mm-hmm.
Were they all singing your praises?
Yeah, actually.
Good.
I'm good at this, man.
Did you have to put out any steak sauce?
No.
Good.
No, I make that like sushi rice, and I got some pasta salad that goes well with it.
Yeah, I like the pasta salad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make that. I bought that fresh market. Their
It's okay.
mozzarella, their smoky mozzarella. Dude.
Yeah. You did good.
That's
you did good with that.
But I crack an egg into the sushi rice when it's hot.
Yeah.
And then a little rice vinegar. You're going for the tang of the rice vinegar.
Okay.
That cuts the fat of a ribeye steak pretty perfectly.
Nice.
And a little bit of teriyaki. I throw a little bit of a hot sauce in there, too, to give it a little kick. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good eating Saturday night. For me, that was sort of the main thing I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, cook. And I made a little bit of a mess. Doing it on the stove. I had
That's
two pans going. And
That's a good chef.
yeah. Just fat everywhere. With beef tallow, popping off everywhere.
Fat everywhere.
Ugh. But, I like
It
the
smelled
smell
good.
of beef.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind it. Hey, 272-9228. We got to hit our top of the hour break here soon. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, Ashley has put together a fantastic team. They continue to grow. They really are an amazing
they are.
business. Because not only do they get the job done when it comes to keeping those little pests out of your property,
right,
or stopping a big infestation, they're also always giving back to the community.
Yes, they do, Joe.
Ashley is very, say, locally oriented. These folks are your neighbors. And, if you get to know them, they'll probably become your friends. They really are good people there. So it is the season for termites.
Oh, yes.
For mosquitoes.
100%.
The La Cucarachas are waking up.
Yes, they are.
The wasps are waking up. The fire ants are waking up. They're all waking up. 'Tis the season for pests to try to test out your defenses at home. So call up Pest Pro Services today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team of hers that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Coming up a little later in the program, at the beginning, I believe, of the 2 o'clock hour, we will have the Attorney General of the great state of Alabama, Steve Marshall.
Excellent.
I believe calling in.
Okay.
Look forward to talking to him. I really want to get into, his visit up to the New York courtroom, standing by Trump.
Right.
Also, these fights he's having ongoing with the Biden administration, especially over things like abortion and Title IX. But I might throw in there, Gavin Newsom and Democrats really using Alabama as an example of how backwards,
Love that commercial.
Are. And then the status of illegal gaming in Alabama, I want to ask him about.
Good question. Curious about that myself.
Because I, saw Nathaniel Ledbetter, the Speaker Ledbetter, talk about how, I think the illegal gaming is going to expand. But it's illegal. Is it like immigration?
If you know it's going to expand, then can't you do something about it?
Wait, do the laws not matter anymore? Because I'm kind of...
I'm telling you, Joey, we could run our own little 3-card money business.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has died. He was 63. Raisi died Sunday along with the foreign minister and other officials in a helicopter crash in northwestern Iran. His death comes as Iran struggles with internal dissent. Fast-moving storms with strong winds, large hail, and apparent tornadoes have left a trail of damage in Oklahoma and Kansas. The storms struck Sunday, damaging nearly 20 homes in one Oklahoma county, injuring at least 2 people. Red Lobster filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection shortly after closing some of its restaurants. Red Lobster has been struggling in recent years with rising lease and labor costs. The Dow down 83 points, but the NASDAQ is up 100. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256-5533.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. I'm Johnny Adams, your Alabama personal injury attorney with the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert all day long with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Hi, everybody. Starting off this brand new week on a good note with dry, warm, storm-free, great late May weather. Mostly sunny today with a high around 88, and that's actually close to normal. Mainly clear, comfortable tonight, low 64. More sun tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow, near 90 Wednesday and Thursday. Widely scattered storms holding off till about Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Auburn running back Brian Battie was critically injured and his brother killed in a Saturday morning shooting in Sarasota, Florida. There were multiple other shooting victims in the incident as well. 24-year-old Tommy Batty IV was pronounced dead at the scene. Brian Batty remains in critical condition. A suspect has been arrested in a shooting that paralyzed Montgomery woman Amy Dix. 20-year-old Michael Lamar Johnson has been arrested and charged in the shooting that occurred on April 12th. Amy Dix was shot while driving on Atlanta Highway near the intersection of Eastern Boulevard. 2 neighboring Montgomery businesses were burglarized over the weekend. Baker's Framing and Art Supplies was hit by burglars around midnight Sunday. Next to Baker's, the locker room was also burglarized. Both stores are located in the 1700 block of Carter Hill Road. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A-plus Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio. I got hairy legs.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228, as the big boy said. That's 334-272-9228. Of course, online, we are now streaming the show live. You can see me. You can see my co-host, Eddie Bader, in the flesh.
Oh, boy.
Just go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
One of our...
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
Shut up, Rom.
One of our viewers watches us on a 85-inch TV.
What?
Yeah, 85 inches in his office. I was like, I really appreciate that, but he's like, yeah, some days you guys, could use a little makeup.
Oh, I agree. And I ain't putting any on.
You not wearing any now?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
We could get fake eyelashes, though, like Jack Crockett, and it's just such a beautiful day today, Eddie. You got to blink a lot, and it's just such a beautiful day.
I think you blink a lot because they're stabbing you in the face.
Right. I'm just so emotional. Like, I don't know why.
Sadly enough, I used to think those were attractive on women.
Really?
And then I seen everybody and their brother get them, and I was like, this is kind of becoming silly now. Kind of like weaves were. I used to love a woman with a weave, but then when I started seeing tumble weaves, it kind of turned me off.
Yeah, not much activity in the comment section today.
Yeah.
But Gumtown John did write in, is Biden aware that the OG erectionist Bob Dole died years ago?
I doubt he is aware of it.
The fact that Bob Dole was a Viagra spokesman, like, dirty old man.
Dude, he's got to get paid. Be careful, Joey.
Oh, no, I'm happy to be a dirty old man, too.
Saying,
Like,
if
if
they would have
paid me.
Never say never.
Yeah. Now, the Veep stakes continues.
Yeah.
And a lot of you know how they have the online, like, odds makers?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A lot of them are now saying it could be J.D. Vance.
No.
You don't think it's going to be Tim Scott?
Maybe, but
I don't think it's going to be a senator.
I'm going with none of the above. None of the ones he's toting around.
Because there's been a lot of names thrown out there who are senators. But another one of them is my old arch nemesis. I've buried the hatchet with him, though.
Oh?
Marco Rubio.
I'm not a big fan.
You're not a fan of Rubio?
I'm not just a big fan.
Well, people are apparently singing his praises for going toe-to-toe with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. Do you want to watch?
Sure.
You don't seem enthusiastic about
those
that.
people. They bother me. They're fake people.
Why do they bother you?
Because they're so fake. They're so fake.
Well, you try serving the public. You'd be fake, too.
I do serve the public.
The voters are very fickle. They do not like you being your genuine self.
Now, this is true, but
they want to be flattered. The people want to be lied to.
That's not hard to do nowadays. That's not hard at all to do nowadays. You just keep telling them the reward is coming, and it never comes.
So I want to check this out. It's more like watching game tape. We're getting ready for who's Trump going to pick, who's he going to pick. Here's Rubio. I think this is sort of an audition to be Trump's vice president.
Senator, would you support a federal abortion ban?
Well, I'm pro-life, and to me, this is not even a political issue. I understand it is for a lot of people, and I understand this is a divisive issue in our country, and not everybody shares my views on it. But I believe that human life is worthy of dignity and protection, and I support laws that protect our unborn human life. I always have, as I've done in the past. You know, when people talk about a federal abortion ban, what they're talking about is the 15-week ban, which Lindsey Graham sponsored and I have co-sponsored in the past. That law is less restrictive or identical to virtually every country in Europe except for 2. Now, the extremists here are the Democrats. Not once, but twice, they have voted in Congress to support a law that basically has no meaningful restrictions. They claim it does, but it has no meaningful restrictions. And I think if we are indeed in this republic, which is what we live in a divisive issue like this, where everybody's views have to be taken into account, it's very difficult to find, if there is such a thing, an arrangement at the federal level with people who basically will not vote for any meaningful restrictions on abortion.
Well,
and I'm going to pause it there because, number one, this abortion issue, the whole idea that there's going to be a national ban or a national, it ain't happening anytime soon unless one party takes a lion's share of the majority of both chambers. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So I think it's red meat to stir up the voters.
Stirs up the base, man.
But let's check out the drip. Is that what the kids are saying?
Well, I've heard of this.
The outfit that he's wearing?
Yep.
You know, Jack Campbell taught me a while back that dark blue with the light blue tie, it plays.
It does play.
It does work. It really is a good look. It's not too audacious. It's not the red power tie. You're not getting a little too floral or dandy-ish. It's just a solid look. So I have to give him a A+ on the look. I think he's looking all right. I mean, even with all that TV makeup, he's got bags like you and I under the eyes.
He's got some glare going on with that forehead. Jeez.
But that was a fairly solid answer. He didn't fumble. I'll put it that way. It was like a good 4-yard run. Good job, little Marco. You're coming to fight.
That's all I see him as.
You know, he's grown up so big. You know, I watched him. It's like seeing Scotty grow.
He might be 5'8".
Let's keep listening in.
Well, of course, the restrictions would be after 21 weeks. But let me ask it to you this way. Donald Trump says...
No, that's not accurate. I'm sorry, that's not what that bill did. No, I'm sorry, but that's not what that bill did. That bill, it didn't say anything about doctors. It said practitioners. So it didn't have to be a doctor that makes this decision. It doesn't say anything about a reasonable harm. It's just a good faith. And so basically, even if it's remote and unlikely, you could still say, and it's not even about, by the way, in the law that they had, it's not even about the life of the mother, it's about the health. So it could be a nurse practitioner or a nurse, or healthcare practitioner, someone needs to define that, and it can be for virtually any reason. So I understand what they claim the bill did, but in practice, that bill had no meaningful restrictions. It was, in essence, a vote, not once, but twice, from Democrats to have abortion at any time for any reason.
Let me just note, though, that less than 1% of abortions take place after 21 weeks. Let me just ask you, though, this way.
Then
because
everybody should be in
Donald Trump-
favor of just ban. If they're so rare, then let's just ban them all after 21 weeks.
let me
Why are they
ask you,
fighting
though,
so hard on that?
Well, because usually if they happen, it's because there is a crisis with the health of the mother. Let me ask you, though, Donald Trump says
No, but if there's a crisis with the
signing-
life of the mother, a real crisis, that every bill has that restriction in place. Every bill has that exception.
Senator, let me ask it this way. Donald Trump says, quote, he's not signing a national abortion ban. Do you disagree with him on that point?
Well, he won't get to sign one because there's no way we can pass it. I've never claimed we have 60 votes in the Senate and votes in the House and everything else that goes in between.
Oh, wow. Rubio
I don't
telling the
believe
truth.
any time in it, but I don't support those bills because I think they're actually about to pass. And I think what Trump has actually said is that what he wants to do is negotiate with the Democrats. I think he said it on this program, that he wants to negotiate with the Democrats on this, which I think, in a country where you're trying to save unborn human life, and I support laws that do so, even if they don't have everything I want them to have in there, that's his goal. And so, but that's a statement of fact. He will never get a chance to sign that law because right now we don't have the votes to pass it. That doesn't mean that's not what I believe. It just kind of the reality of the politics.
Well, but he's not talking about whether the votes are there. He has said point blank he's not signing a national abortion ban. Let me ask you, though.
Because he wants to negotiate with the Democrats on the issues, he said.
He also said on this program that a 6-week abortion ban that was signed into law in Florida, in your state, is a, quote, terrible thing, a terrible mistake. Is he wrong on that point, Senator?
Well, again, I'm pro-life, so I support laws that save unborn human life. Other people have different opinions on what our law should be. That law that you're referring to was passed by elected legislators in the state of Florida. House members that have to go back to their voters every 2 years. It wasn't senators that have to go back every 4 years. And that's the way our republic works. So it's a representative democracy, and people have to go back to their voters and justify. I am of the belief that unborn human, I don't want to impose anything on anyone. I get that this is two competing rights here that are crashing into each other, but I err on the side of supporting unborn human life because of the dignity of all human life. That's my view. I want our laws to represent it. Other people have different views, but in our representative democracy, people who have to answer to voters in the state of Florida voted for that, and voters will now get to take that into account in this election and any future election.
Rubio is holding his own fairly well. I have to give it to him.
I'll give him that, and I like the way he argued about the specifics of the bill. He didn't just let her glance over or gloss over.
And they love, the corporate press loves this little game of let's bring up a thing that Trump said and see if they will disagree.
Yeah, they do that a lot, don't they?
Like, can we get a little wedge here and create some drama amongst the Republicans? Let's see what the next tack she takes.
Just to put a fine point on it, you are disagreeing with Donald Trump on his opposition.
So we are agreeing.
But I think even within the pro-life movement, there's all kinds of disagreement about what the laws should be.
But you
Some of it is
support the
practical
6-week
on what we
ban?
can pass.
You support the 6-week ban?
I support any life. I support any bill that protects unborn human life. But I don't consider other people in the pro-life movement who have a different view to be apostate. They just have a different view about the best ways to approach this issue.
Hey, you talk about your own prostate. Or wait, did he say prostate or apostate?
I think he said apostate.
That's different.
Pasta.
Sorry to be so sensitive about the topic.
Hey, can I ask you something? I just thought about it.
I was trying to move on quickly, but go ahead.
Democrats seem to want abortion anytime, anywhere. Right?
That seems to be the line.
So why?
But only 1% happen after 20.
But also only for Americans. They don't push this policy worldwide. They push this policy here in America. And these are the same people that want the borders to be opened up, everybody, right?
Yeah.
So is it just a possibility that they just want to eliminate Americans? I mean, we're killing Americans every day via abortion, and we're letting illegals in every day via the open borders.
Well, and we have, based on Peter St. Onge's reporting, native-born Americans have been losing jobs like crazy over the last several quarters.
Mm-hmm. Just curious.
So maybe there's something to that.
Is there something to that?
Right. If you don't like the population, you just change it. Change it up.
I mean, it's as
and you do it in the name of compassion and goodwill.
It's as crazy as it sounds, as conspiratorial as it sounds. Is that not what we're doing?
Let's continue on with Rubio here.
The Democrats, where unless you are in favor of their bills that basically say, let's just put in all this fancy language, but it's not meaningful in terms of any restrictions, you won't get Planned Parenthood, for example, who supports all these Democrats, to get their support and NARAL support. You have to be for abortion at any time. I don't care what they say. That's the practical impact of their laws. They are radicals on this.
All right, Senator, let's move on to immigration. If reelected, Donald Trump has said he's willing to build migrant detention camps and deploy the U.S. military to deport the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. It would be the largest deportation operation in American history.
What are you going to say, Rubio? She's teeing you up. Yep. What are you going to say? Let's see what he says.
You support that plan?
11 million. That's an outdated. That was the number 10 years ago. We're talking upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 million. There's been almost 10 million people that have entered this country unlawfully in the last 3 years.
To the question, would you support it?
The number varies big time. I mean, it's another 9 to 10 million people just in the last 3 years. The answer to your question is yes. We cannot absorb 25, 30 million people who entered this country illegally. They're here illegally. What country on earth would tolerate that? We don't even know who most of these people are. They talk about vetting them with what? They're coming from nations that don't even have document systems in many cases. Yes, we are going to have to do something, unfortunately. We're going to have to do something dramatic to remove people from this country that are here illegally, especially people we know nothing about. But 10 million, 11 million, that was the number 15 years ago. Today, it's upwards of probably 25 to 30 million, maybe more.
You know, they say to me, Don, you're being a little controversial on illegal immigration. I said, it's illegal.
There we go.
No, actually, that was a pretty strong answer.
That was a really good answer. I'm sure she's about to blow up, too.
I see why people are like, Rubio's shining. Watch him shine. Look at him shine. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Big John.
Hey, Big John. How you doing? Long time no talk to.
I'm doing good, man. I was just out and about and was listening to the show. You know, all this stuff about Rubio and who's the next vice president and all the stuff the Democrats are doing. I am completely convinced the Democratic Party has gotten tired of this republic. And they're doing everything they can to sell us out to the rest of the world.
Oh, sure.
As quickly as they can do it while they're padding their pockets.
Oh, of course.
Well, and they're looking for the big
neck.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said none of it that we see is ever going to make sense.
Right.
It's just completely against the American way.
Well, I think the Democrats know what I know, and most, I would say, people who are aware, who are watching American politics know, is that the House built a few decades back is falling apart. The House that is America, somebody's going to rebuild it when this thing either is pushed over or falls over on its own rot. And the Democrats would love to be the new architects of the new House. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense of a lot of what they're doing.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And but I have a very strong feeling when it falls over and the new architects show up, they're going to be speaking Chinese.
Oh, goodness.
I think that's what we'll see.
Good point.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Big John.
Thank you, Big John. Good to hear from him.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back to Rubio. I'm surprised I haven't gotten upset at Rubio yet.
Me too, actually.
Let's keep listening in.
Senator, here's what you said about Donald Trump's mass deportations proposals in 2016. Take a look.
I don't think it's reasonable to say you're going to...
Oh, no, that's not fair. That's not fair, Kristen. It's not fair.
Why?
Back then, he was Little Marco. Little Marco, he hit me in my hands. Guarantee you there's no problem there. It means something else, no problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But since 2016, what do we now? Like 8 years later? Little Marco's grown up. He's not quite Big Marco. Let's call him Grown Marco.
As he bowed down and kissed the ring.
So let's listen to Little Baby Marco. Back in 2016.
Round up and deport 11 million people. I don't think it's a plan that works. I don't think that's a realistic policy.
So why have you changed your mind now?
Because the issue has completely changed. When I said that, and back in 2013, when I was involved in immigration reform, we had 11, 12 million people that had been here for longer than a decade. Now we've had almost that number in the last 3 years alone from all over the world, including people that I believe are terrorists, people that I believe are going to conduct terrorist attacks in this country if given the opportunity, certainly people that were criminals in their home country. This is a completely different, this is not immigration. You asked me about immigration. This is mass migration mass migration. This is an invasion of the country.
Yeah.
And it needs to be dealt with dramatically. And by the way, I'm not a big poll follower, but polls show most Americans agree with us on this.
And of course, that was an issue under former President Trump as well. There was just a bipartisan proposal that was put on the table that would put more funding into border enforcement as well as limiting asylum. Republicans walked away from that. But let me move on to my next question.
No, we can't move on because that's not what that bill did. That bill also created asylum officers who right on the border will be able to give people asylum. And you give someone asylum right on the border without any appeal, no judge, nothing, just an asylum officer, they are on a path to citizenship. That's why I oppose that bill.
Your fellow Republicans said it was the best deal that they had seen in a long, long time.
Your fellow Republicans, I hate this. I hate that tactic so much.
Well, hold on.
I saw it coming from a mile away. Like, don't do it, James Langford. Don't be a dumbass, James Langford. You're going to be hung out to dry, and he fell for it. It was designed to fail, so everybody can have their stupid little talking points going into November. And Langford was the man who decided, well, I guess I'll shoot myself.
Well, not only that, just because it's the best deal that's ever come out, doesn't mean it was a good deal. It's just the best of the crap that they put on the table.
It's just, like, give me a break, man. And your fellow Republican, like, there isn't a huge division in the Republican Party right now. Like, are we still, like, pretending like it's West Wing up in Washington, D.C.? Like it's an Aaron Sorkin screenplay? Let's continue on. Rubio's holding his own.
But Senator,
Which
let me
fellow
look
Republican?
ahead. Senator Lindsey
Which
Graham,
fellow
just to
Republican
name
said that?
Senator Lindsey Graham, just to name
Okay, well,
one.
then I disagree with Lindsey if that's what he said.
Let me-
But
let me-
I'm not in favor of asylum officers at the border that can issue asylum rulings right at the border.
And Senator James Langford, of course, negotiated. But let me look.
There you go, Joey.
And you're going to bring up Mitt Romney next? Mittens?
Forward.
I like hot dogs. It's the best meat there is.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one.
Yep.
It's Hillary
No
Clinton
Democrat has
said
refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election results?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her and that Trump was illegitimate. Kamala Harris agreed.
Senator,
We have Democrats now.
Senator, she conceded the election. And
She said
attended
that
the inauguration.
she said that Trump was illegitimate. She said that the election had been stolen. Kamala Harris agreed. By the way, there are Democrats serving in Congress today who in 2004 voted not to certify the Ohio electors because they said those machines had been tampered with. And you have Democrats now saying they won't certify 2024 because Trump is an insurrectionist and ineligible to hold office. So
Excuse me, Marco. Little Marco, it's an erectionist. I'm like Pablo. Wow, this is actually an amazing job by Rubio. And now, like, I don't watch these things that much anymore, like the Sunday talk shows.
I totally understand why.
Because when I watch it, I'm like, oh, there's that trick. Oh, here's this stupid trick. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why do people keep falling for this manipulative crap? Why?
Because they're people.
Yeah. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey, how are you, man?
Oh, hi, James. How you doing?
I'm okay. West Wing, Martin Sheen. This is before your time, Joey. Have you seen California Kid?
No.
That's with Martin Sheen also. I want to see that. It's a nice little TV drama, I think.
Yeah, no, and it's a shame because I do think Aaron Sorkin's a great screenwriter. He kind of jumped the shark with Newsroom, but I think a lot of his movies and shows like Sports Night and early West Wing are great, well written. But West Wing is so liberal. I look at it now and I'm like, you smug neoliberal asshats. Like, it's just, I can't. That America was most full of hubris in that moment.
But are you suggesting you may have liked it while it was rolling and you're just now figuring it out, or help me understand?
Oh no, I still like the show for the show.
Okay.
Like, I think the character stuff's great. The politics are just like, ugh.
Okay, all right. Earlier you said that the Democrats want to be the architects of this new country that they're, and henceforth they're running off the rails so they can be the architects. We're adding this all up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're both on the same page. I'm just checking, just making sure I'm right. That I'm following the young whiz kid, for lack of a better word. How is that? Is whiz kid okay?
That's going to inflate his ego a little bit. Plus, he's older now.
Oh, okay, so he can handle that.
Yeah, he can handle it.
Speaking of older, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but today's my birthday, Joey. Can you say happy birthday, James?
Oh, happy birthday to you, James.
Okay, so if I was standing in front of these Democrats, you know what I would ask them? What's wrong with the country we have? And you know the answer that I would anticipate? Not enough barbed wire. Joey, have a nice day, brother.
Thank you, James. 272-9228. I'm going to keep going with this.
Okay.
I was going to bail out early, but I'm tell you, little Marco's holding his own here.
He's doing better than I thought he would.
Continue to listen in.
Need to ask them. I think you've had have you ever asked the Democrat this question on your show?
Senator,
I bet you've never asked the Democrat that question.
Senator, you voted to certify the 2020 election, and here is what you said on that day that you voted to certify the 2020 election.
Democracy is held together by people's confidence in the election and their willingness to abide by its results.
So by your own definition, are Donald Trump's claims undermining Americans' confidence in democracy, given that he has not conceded the last election, and he just said in recent days twice that he won Minnesota, Senator?
I think what undermines people's confidence in the election is when you have places like Wisconsin with over 500 illegal drop box locations, when you have places like Georgia where liberal groups are paying people $10 per vote. No, but listen, what undermines elections is when NBC News and every major news outlet in America in 2020 censored the Biden laptop story, which turned out to be true, not Russian misinformation, unprecedented. Only you couldn't even talk about it on social media. They would deplatform you. People look at all this. They look at what happened in Arizona, 200,000 ballots that had the signatures.
Wait. Is the reptilian coming out in her?
Snake.
I mean, that is a very green neon jet. She looks like an Amazon lizard.
Got a nice tan, though.
Yeah, she's a lovely woman. Well put together, but let's keep going here.
Senator, people will lose confidence, and it opens the door to this.
I have to jump in here. Senator, you voted to certify the election, and
because at that stage in the process, you have no options.
Senator, you voted to certify the election. Nothing has been censored on this program. Hillary Clinton.
Did you guys cover the laptop for Joe Biden in 2020?
Absolutely, we covered the laptop.
It was bad. You couldn't even talk about it in social media.
Chris Krebs, the top
election official, you couldn't talk about it in social media. It'd be deplatformed. You couldn't even talk about it.
Let me go to an expert.
They said it was Russian disinformation.
Senator Rubio.
Voters, in many cases, didn't even hear about it because it was blacked out by the media.
We did cover the election, and just to note that Chris Krebs, who was a top Trump election
official,
official, called it the safest and most secure election in recent history.
Just to say that, I can no longer take you seriously if you seriously mean what you said. And I know she doesn't.
No, say you go to, you and I went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And your wife asks you, Eddie, did you stay faithful? And you're like, this was the most faithful, in fact, most celibate and wholesome Vegas trip I've ever had.
If I told my wife that, that would be the last thing I ever said.
Yeah, it's like when somebody protests, it was the most secure.
Right. There would be no more questions.
Break, man.
There would be no more questions for Eddie.
You changed the rules in several battleground states in the midst of a world historic pandemic. And you changed the rules in a way that if any other country did it, we would have said it was illegitimate. Now, what's been my line since all this went down, Eddie? They stole it fair and square.
And democracy dies in darkness.
No, that's not my line.
It's not yours?
No, that's Washington Post.
Oh, man, I've been quoting that all weekend and put your name behind it.
No, stop doing that. That's false attribution. You know that's not allowed online. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joe, it's Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Ken.
How you doing?
I'm fine. Enjoying listening to your replay of Little Marco from yesterday. Whoever that female person is that host Meets the Press, sure does make a lot of us miss people like Tim Russert. And even, for goodness sake, Tom John Brokaw, Dan Rather. Dan Rather is just, I thought he had been the most disrespectful of a sitting president on his program that I had ever heard some 15 or 20 years ago with Bush. I guess it was Bush 1. But this person is intolerable. Senator Rubio did a very good job. I have to say he did a lot better job than Senator Scott from North Carolina. I think it was just the previous week. But her continual interruptions, he has enough facts, and of course Scott did too. He just wanted to be a little more respectful of a person, I guess.
Well, and if you notice when she would interrupt, she's playing this brilliant game of, I'm going to load each question with an underlying presumption that I know he doesn't agree with. And as soon as he started to attack the premise, the unspoken part of the question, that's when she jump in and interrupt. No, my premise is absolutely correct. You cannot question the framing of the things I'm asking you.
Unfortunately, even a lot of the more conservative moderators and radio and TV hosts have gone into this persistent interruption, which is, of course, rude.
Yep.
Very annoying. You'd think their producers and the execs would realize it's annoying to, or maybe it's not, but to this audience, it's very annoying because you tune into the station. We tune into you and Eddie to hear you and Eddie and other of your regular callers, but and we want you to interject when there's something pertinent, but to continually interrupt and to bait the person is intolerable.
Unfortunately, that's all the rage these days. But I appreciate it, Ken. I really do.
Yeah,
great hearing
enjoying it.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Dr. Ken. I haven't heard from him in a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I like it that we still got folks who've been listening all these years, still listening, still calling in, keeping the spirit alive. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, they can help you with that roof of yours. In fact, you are one of their best customers, I think,
In fact, Joey, I'll be using them again.
Really?
I had some,
yeah.
I had some tree damage up at the Airbnb. So after the inspector came out, the insurance inspector adjuster came out, we did notice there's a little bit of damage on the roof. So I'll be calling those guys up today, getting that set back up, because you know why? It's a free inspection and it's always accurate. And these guys, they've seen this roof in the past. So if there's been any changes, they can tell me.
So free inspection, free estimates, accurate estimates, and they get the job done when they say they're going to get it done?
Every single time they've done that for me.
And they're insurance specialists.
Yes.
So they can actually work with the insurance company through the claims process.
In this case, I'm dealing with an insurance company, so this is why I'm calling them, guys.
Well, Todd Clark really has put together a great team. Again, whether you have an asphalt or a metal roof, they can help you out. You should just get it inspected, even if you don't think you have a problem. It's good to do some basic preventative maintenance. Sure. So call River Region Contracting today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Thompson Tractor is the go-to source for a complete range of the best equipment for your next construction project. Thompson Tractor also has the trusted parts and expert service you've come to expect for more than 65 years, all of which keeps your business up and running so you can focus on the work you do. And now is a great time to get the compact equipment you need, because right now, there's financing starting at 0% for 36 months on any Cat compact equipment, including skid steers and mini excavators. These machines don't sit around for long, but no worries. If it's not here, we can pull from one of our other 16 locations in Alabama and Northwest Florida. And hey, if you're not ready to buy, Thompson Rents is here so you can rent what you need. So visit ThompsonTractor.com for all the details and for the location nearest you. Thompson Tractor and Thompson Rents. We're here for you.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting?
Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show's so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. Starting off this brand new week on a good note with dry, warm, storm-free, great late May weather. Mostly sunny today with a high around 88, and that's actually close to normal. Mainly clear, comfortable tonight, low 64. More sun tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow, near 90 Wednesday and Thursday. Widely scattered storms holding off till about Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
This spring, mow with the flow with a Kubota zero-turn mower. John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Kubota Z232 puts power where you need it, when you need it. Save now with our spring specials. Powering Alabama, Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Hold on to your butts.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. You like this one, Eddie?
I do.
Yeah, I've got this one all finished with a vocal and everything. I don't know. I'm self-conscious about my voice.
I understand.
Like, I wish I was a better singer, I'll put it that way.
I think we all do. Not just you were a better singer, but I think we all wish we were better singers.
I was about to say. It's like, thanks, man. Are y'all spying on me or something?
We know what you do.
272-922. And then what do I do?
Okay. Look here.
Don't you make something up.
Never mind.
Some perverted little rumor / joke.
It'd be a rumor that I'd start.
Yeah. What rumor would that be?
I don't know. To be honest, I've got a few of them out there already about you. I don't want to get them confused right now, so I better just kind of stop.
Oh, yeah. No, it's probably good that you lay low for a second. Right. Just remember.
My thought on it.
I know where you live.
Yeah, speaking of that, well, we need to have a boat day. Brandon called me this weekend. We need to have a boat day. I'm sure Byron, as much as we talk about the boats, he would love to have a boat day. Yeah. We need to set that
I'm down for a boat day.
Okay. I'm going to get this working on that.
Yeah, I'll wear my brand new workout shorts.
Nice. They're not the shorty shorts, are they?
No.
Okay.
They're actually the double ones.
Oh,
that have like the compression shorts
I got
inside.
A pair of those.
They're so comfy.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It felt weird when I first wore them, but they're very comfortable.
Very comfy.
Yeah, much more than I thought.
One more give.
Yes.
Somebody needs to get Biden a pair of those. It'll help a lot. Did you see that Senator Katie Britt and Senator Ted Cruz teamed up and wrote a joint op-ed?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. A joint op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. Here, I'll share it on the screen here. It's from 1819 News reporting. Britt Cruz proposed bill to protect both life and IVF in joint Wall Street Journal op-ed. Now, I have, sources within the Roman Catholic Church, and the good ones, not the stupid pope.
Yeah, the good ones, okay.
This Marxist pope.
Yeah.
Saying that IVF, based on Catholic teaching, shouldn't be a thing.
I was told that a long time ago.
Yeah, because you're literally creating life and then freezing it and then manipulating it, and a lot of it are just doomed to die, is their thinking on it, I believe.
I
Kind of playing God.
think it would be coming from, but
then 86% of Americans apparently support IVF. And, knowing people personally who are trying, I can see why people support it.
See it.
But on Sunday, the Wall Street Journal published a, op-ed written by Katie Britt and Ted Cruz about their legislative efforts to clear up confusion after an Alabama Supreme Court ruling on in vitro fertilization. Families across the U.S. are understandably worried that in vitro fertilization is under threat, the op-ed began, as Republican senators from Texas and Alabama were united on many issues, including the need to protect both life and access to IVF treatments, which many families rely on to have children. This issue is close to our hearts as parents. The senator said this new bill would, quote unquote, eliminate any ambiguity left over by the state's law and courts' interpretations by providing federal protection. States could still regulate IVF under the proposed bill, and no organization would be compelled to provide IVF against its conscience. They go on to say misconceptions and fear-mongering around the legal status or standing of IVF do a disservice to families facing infertility. Our bill will honor and support families seeking to welcome a new baby into their lives through IVF. Britt and Cruz cited statistics showing that roughly 2% of births in the United States came from IVF, and 86% of Americans support the practice. The senators concluded, quote, "This is an opportunity to unite on a shared bipartisan commitment to life, family, and personal liberty by protecting access to IVF treatments in every corner of America." And it does seem like Cruz and Britt are teaming up on a lot more things. He had her on his podcast there after her State of the Union response.
I didn't know that. I just been hearing about the Fetterman Britt team.
Oh, yeah.
Lately.
That's a good duo right there.
Beauty and the Beast.
I know. That's why it's a good duo.
Okay.
You rang? Yeah, in fact, I did, John. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't need to do an impersonation of our junior senator or our senior senator. Hey, Joey, how's it going? How you doing?
I want to call our radio.
I'm doing all right, Coach.
My real estate team that, but my partner thought that was a bad idea. Beauty and the Beast.
Well, your partner is beautiful. I'll give her that.
I thought it'd make a funny, great billboard, but
so much. 272-9228. And in just a second, I want to go to, Al Sharpton. Did you see that Al Sharpton sat down with the guy who is the Democrats' nominee?
No.
In the brand new District 2.
I heard you tell me about it.
That's what I mean by this will not just be a local press thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be something that gets constant coverage on MSNBC, probably CNN as well.
Oh, no doubt.
And there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars probably spent, thrown into this district, with both sides combined especially. So Sharpton sat down with Shamari Figures.
Okay.
And have you ever heard Shamari?
Besides in here, no.
Like he's never been in here?
No, we've played stuff from him before. I never heard.
Me and never heard him? Yeah, I had not actually heard him out until this weekend when I watched this clip with Sharpton here. So you want to just do this now?
Yeah, come on.
Again, this is Al Sharpton talking to Shamari Figures over the weekend there on MSNBC.
Welcome back to Politics Nation. We could be watching history in the making in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District, where former Justice Department official Shamari Figures won a competitive Democratic primary runoff this week for a seat that was redrawn to give black voters greater representation after the U.S. Supreme Court demanded it. Now, if Figures and longstanding Congresswoman Terry Sewell are both victorious in November, it could mark the first time Alabama's congressional delegation has 2 black members. Joining me now, Shamari Figures, Democratic nominee from Alabama for the U.S. House. Mr. Figures, thank you.
Now, before we get into that, looking at him, he's a young man. He's only, I believe, Shamari Figures is only 38. Yeah.
Younger than that, to be honest.
Yeah. So he is a very, I would say, impressive from afar. But we'll listen into him. Okay. I mean, I, of course, have disagreements. I'm just calling it like I see it, though. This guy's the real deal, and it's going to be a heck of a fight between him and Caroline Dobson. But let's actually hear him out.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Many of us in the civil rights and voting rights communities were surprised last year when the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed the federal judicial panel's demand for a new congressional map in Alabama that included a second majority black district in a heavily black state. Now you're running as the Democratic nominee to represent that district and could be part of a history-making a tandem of black representatives if Terry Sewell wins re-election as expected. What is your thoughts on that?
Look, good to see you again, Reverend Sharpton, and thanks for having us today. Look, this district, this newly redrawn district, is incredibly important to not just the people in this district, but people across the state of Alabama and people across the country. As you can see, it's had impacts in other states, and the entire civil rights community that came together to fight for this, the plaintiffs here in the state of Alabama, the supporting organizations and elected officials and government leaders across the country all came together once again to make Alabama do right by people in this state. When you grow up in Alabama, as I have, especially when you grow up black in Alabama, you know the role that the federal government has had to historically play in making this state do right by people in this state, especially by black people in this state. And this district is yet again another example of that.
Now, less than a year after the Supreme Court ruled that Alabama's voting map be redrawn, the U.S. Supreme Court restored a congressional voting map in Louisiana this week that adds a second majority black district less than 6 months before the November election. Based on what's happened in Alabama, what do you expect that to mean for Democrats and black voters in that state?
Look, I think people there will equally be as excited about the opportunity to elect leadership that reflects the types of communities and towns and citizens that make up that district. It's been far too long for many places, including here in the state of Alabama, in the district that we now represent. Too many counties and communities and towns in this district have never had the opportunity to be elected or to elect leadership that can bring a level of care and focus and concern on the issues that mean the most to them and impact their communities in sometimes very unique ways. And so I think the people of Louisiana will be similarly excited about the opportunity and really get out and vote and make their voices heard come November.
This week, Mercedes-Benz workers in your state rejected unionization after 56% of them voted.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. Sorry I didn't mention it, folks.
They'll be back.
No, and whether it's Democrats like we're about to hear or all the Republicans in the state, I'm like, isn't it at the end of the day up to these workers?
Yeah. Ain't our fight, Joey. It's their fight. Let them fight it.
In fact, kind of running out of time for the segment, so let me go to Randall real quick here. Hey, Randall.
What up, Randall?
What's up, man? I guess there's a lot to unpack, but just tell you, I'm gonna click on to see how y'all boys looking, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, kill the black shirts. Don't ever wear black again. Wear a tight fit. I'm telling y'all, I'm just saying your best look. Wear the tight fit shirt, man. The white stuff. Don't wear the slack. You can't tell where your body is. Right now, the shirt you got on look way better than the black you ever wore.
That's a good looking for you. I'll give him that right now.
Yeah. Wear a white shirt that show y'all body. Man, ain't nobody trying to hide.
That's a good look for you.
I'm telling you. And that like you had on yesterday, and the other day, Friday, Eddie, man, that shirt was perfect. Now this shirt you got on now, it's just too much.
It's camouflage.
You got, you know what I mean? It ain't showing where you're in, and I can't.
Because I'm fat and I'm hiding my fat body.
I'm still gonna wear black as long as I'm fat.
I'm telling y'all don't. You're doing it the wrong way, man. You need to y'all.
Lucky I don't wear just a poncho.
Quit trying to hide anything. That's what making it. I'm telling y'all look better with the tight fit, the light colors. Dark colors don't look good on y'all. Y'all like
crop top, Joey.
Crop top. There you go. But the microphone, man, I can't watch y'all the whole time because the microphone, I can't handle that one being in one place, one in the other, and y'all screaming next to each other. That's crazy, man. It drives me
nuts. It absolutely drives me nuts. Is that better, Randall?
Yeah, but man, anyway, just I don't know if y'all heard of net block, but they starting to block. You can start paying these folks to block certain folks. And
really?
The internet, man, yeah. And they doing it in Iran. I figured out what they were doing in Iran with that girl that they killed in 2022 when they tried to put her in a re-education camp.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I want to talk about Morris. Man, this crap right here. This is why we got to focus on the real enemy. Because they could have said this is for Democrat voters. Why keep putting the black part in there? That right there is showing you they keep trying to show us the bias because they see how close we are down here, and they don't want us linking arms and coming up at Washington, D.C. And they're going to send somebody down here and saying he's from, man, you put a beard and some hair on him, he look like he's from over there in Iran itself. And you know what I mean? So I ain't falling for it. I'm tired of coming down here, bringing people from Washington, D.C., trying to say they've been here the whole time. Man, I wish we could have got Daniels in there. Man, we needed him so bad. And now, it's better than what we got to him, because this dude ain't going we ain't going to beat this crap. We can't beat this money. How we going to beat him?
Yeah, money and free media at the national level, and it's amazing how democracy works.
It's not actually the best media we could ever get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we ain't going to be able to beat it down here. And they're going to come down here and put who they want in place. And, I think Daniel had a better vision, and I just don't think that she's going to be able to whoop this dude. And I hate. Yeah, I know it, and I'm saying this, so I hope people prove me wrong. Y'all get up and show. Y'all just show how these folks did, man. Don't let them come down here and do this crap. And we need to focus on the real enemy coming in here and fisting the man. We got this net blocks is a big one, and because I can pay to have Joey blocked. I can have your stuff blocked.
How much does that cost? I got lots of people I'd like blocked. I'm looking into this.
Well, Randall, I got to run, man, but I appreciate it. Good hit.
I like this, Randall. Thank you, man.
272-9228. Be right back, hopefully with Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you'd just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Gonna keep running for the rest of your life? Fox Tuesday.
If we work with the feds, she could kill us both.
It's the Cleaning Lady 2-hour season finale.
We'll draw the feds to us like bees to honey.
Kill federal agents? How far would you go to get out?
What side you want to be on?
If you can't do your job, I'm gonna do it.
The Cleaning Lady 2-hour season finale. Tuesday on Fox 20.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Joey, and he's Eddie. And I love that Gumtown John wrote in. He said, Eddie already has the bad-built butch body, just needs the eyelashes.
I don't know. I think they'd bother me too much. The whole blinking would drive me crazy. Right, it'd make me blink more, which would probably make me even look a little more.
No, and you would find yourself doing more.
Right. Joey, stop.
Little verklempt.
Right, getting verklempt over here.
Yeah. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Michael's on vacation.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And so, folks, when you're talking about Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, first, you're talking about a local institution, 60-plus years of doing business here.
That's right.
It is a family-owned business through the generations, and they've been serving customers through the generations. Like grandfathers, fathers, and sons have all now bought there from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances.
We hear it every day.
With electronics, of course, if you're looking for, say, a kick butt, like 65-inch, 85-inch, even they now have 95-inch TVs, Sony and Samsung, or those short throw projectors.
Oh, yeah. Now, we've seen those in action. They look really cool.
And, of course, those outdoor TVs, if you're putting something on the porch to watch your favorite sporting event as you're relaxing outside. Or it could be you go to the appliance side of the store, looking at the top-notch grills they have, or you want to build out a kitchen. So it could be like a stove or an oven, maybe a brand new double oven.
Well, especially if you're doing new construction, you can go in there with kind of more or less your plans and sit down with Michael, and they can help you design your kitchen with the appliances that you want.
Not to mention those great laundry room products. Like
amazing.
if you need a new washer dryer unit, they've got all sorts of options for you. Really, the store is massive, a lot bigger than you think when you're looking at it from the roadside. So check out Cohen's Electronics and Appliances today. You can always go to thinkcohens.com. That's thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to go see them in person. They're at 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to tell, one of those great team members there, that Joey and Eddie, those fools on the radio, sent you. Little Marco Rubio is now Marco in the middle. Says
Marco in the middle.
Dirty Water Jones just wrote that in on YouTube.
Marco in the middle.
I like that handle, too. Dirty Water Jones. Little dirty water.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to read it in Trump voice because that sounds like a Trump thing.
Is there another way to do it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. In fact, one of the comments this weekend I read was about your Trump voice.
Yeah.
And they were complimentary of it.
Really?
Yes.
Because everybody's got a Trump voice.
Nah, yours nails it. And these guys I don't think were locals, by the way.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you nailed it.
No, mine's all right. Mine's not as great as like Shane Gillis is a good one.
Oh, sure. But when you do it, just much like Shane, you start with your hands.
Oh, you
so
have to do the
it just gets you in the character.
No, Gillis has a different formula. He's like, I walked in here and I didn't think it would be a good crowd, but now I see it. What a crowd. What an amazing crowd.
Love Shane Gillis.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. And, we got to hit our top of the hour break.
Okay.
Because we're planning on a call with
that's
the
right.
Attorney General of the great state of Alabama, Steve Marshall. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Hunter Biden pressing for delay in his federal gun case, asking an appeals court to pause the Delaware trial set to begin next month. Defense attorneys for the president's son arguing that there isn't an urgent need to start the trial on June 3rd, shortly before the scheduled start of another Biden trial on tax charges in California. America's first black astronaut candidate, Ed Dwight, finally made it to space. Flying with Jeff Bezos' rocket company, the 90-year-old Dwight blasted off from West Texas with 5 other passengers on Sunday. Dwight was an Air Force pilot when President John F. Kennedy championed him as a NASA astronaut candidate, but he was not picked. The Dow losing 153 points. Now the NASDAQ is up 100. This is SRN News.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans would be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke, or if 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make. And they're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you are blessed with continued prosperity.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
I'm Johnny Adams with the Johnny Adams Law Firm, Alabama's personal injury law firm. Wishing you a fabulous day and a blessed evening. Stay weather alert.
Hi, everybody. Starting off this brand new week on a good note with dry, warm, storm-free, great late May weather. Mostly sunny today with a high around 88, and that's actually close to normal. Mainly clear, comfortable tonight, low 64. More sun tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow, near 90 Wednesday and Thursday. Widely scattered storms holding off till about Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt is joining forces with Texas Senator Ted Cruz to promote a bill that they have written together that addresses in vitro fertilization on a national level. Britt and Cruz started out this week by making appearances on Fox News and Newsmax, as well as writing for the Wall Street Journal about their bill. Here is Britt explaining it on Fox News.
The left is fear-mongering, saying that we are not going to protect IVF. IVF is protected, and Senator Cruz and I are going to make sure it continues to be protective. It is pro-life, it's pro-family, it's pro-woman, and I believe that we're the party of families, and we want to help people who are struggling with infertility, who want to see the miracle of life. Help them achieve that, and this is going to do that.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
More reports are coming out that reveal an Auburn football player is in critical condition following a shooting in Sarasota over the weekend. Brian Batty is battling for his life, while his brother, Tommy, is a confirmed fatality from this shooting. A federal judge sentences a Theodore man to 90 months in prison for trafficking the drug methamphetamine. 45-year-old Jason Reynolds was charged by the U.S. Department of Justice for conducting a large-scale conspiracy with other people that distributed drugs throughout Alabama and Mississippi. Reynolds was first arrested in 2022 when Mobile County Sheriff's deputies pulled over his vehicle and found the drugs inside. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling the show online, Joey Clark Live. You can always go to YouTube. That's the name of the channel, Joey Clark Live, or go to the X platform at the Joey Clark. And without further ado, our special guest today, we have the Attorney General of the great state of Alabama on the phone line, Steve Marshall. Steve, Mr. Attorney General, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. And, Joe, I knew you were a man of many talents. Impersonations was not one of them. Congrats on that.
Don't get me started. You have yet to hear my Lindsey Graham, and I feel embarrassed to even break that out at this moment. So
we'll do that more together.
Yes, sir. So I recently saw you. I looked up on my TV at National News, and there you were behind Donald Trump there up in that New York courthouse. What was that trip like, and why make the trip? Why stand there right by his side?
First of all, interesting experience is to be able to see firsthand what is an absolute fraud, and that's the prosecution that's going on in New York. If this judge does his job, he'll make sure the case is over at the time that the prosecution ends the presentation of the evidence, and this will finally be done. But, Alabama has led the brief that dealt with the Colorado situation where they tried to take President Trump off the ballot in Colorado. We were involved in leading a coalition of states on the issue of the presidential immunity that's been alleged involving the case with a special counsel. And so, we have tried to stand very strong in ensuring that the law that should apply does apply, and I think the Trump team has noticed the leadership that we've shown on that front.
Well, and what is this lawfare, for lack of a better word, do to trust in the rule of law in this country, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it undermines the criminal justice system as a whole. I couldn't help, as I was sitting there listening to Michael Cohen testify, knowing the resources were in that courtroom, what it's taking to be able to try this case weeks at a time, and wondering, when you hear the stories of violent crime in New York City, about those victims' families who are waiting to get justice for them. I mean, not only is this a political prosecution, clearly contrary to the rule of law, but the fact that others who desperately need the system to work, that are not having access to it, speaks to how far the Democrats are willing to go, and particularly Alvin Bragg's in New York City, to be able to carry out the mission of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's just frustrating to watch, and we don't need another thing thrown on the fire in terms of Americans' distrust of our major institutions, but
No, absolutely not. And then, Joe, you can imagine, as a guy that has spent his fair share of time in courtrooms in front of juries, there's not an amount of money I'm not sure I wouldn't have been willing to pay to be able to do the cross-examination of Michael Cohen, because it was fertile ground, and it sounds like it's gone really well for the Trump team.
Yeah, and we'll see what the jury comes back with, I think, closing arguments here soon. And, you've been fighting the Biden administration on many fronts there in federal court. I want to bring up real quick, we just played a clip of Shamari Figures, who will be the Democratic nominee in this brand new Congressional District 2. And there's something that just rubs me the wrong way. And that it's either outright said or it's implied that, oh, look at Alabama, they're so backwards, the federal courts had to smack them again. Could you address this brand new district? I know you have before, but it's something about it just rubs me the wrong way when they put that out there.
Well, it should, and we'll need to look no further than a recent Fifth Circuit opinion in dealing with Louisiana and their redistricting case, where the court specifically found their map to be in violation of the Equal Protection Clause because it was specific racial gerrymandering. And what we've said all along to the three-judge panel is, to the extent that you are mandating the use of race as a predominant factor in drawing districts, then you're asking us to directly violate the Constitution. And so, we were pleased to be able to see that Fifth Circuit ruling under that rationale. We think it provides additional arguments for us when we're able to finally fully litigate the redistricting map before the three-judge panel. But again, it speaks to what I think the Chief Justice, although he ruled against us, has spoken about in other cases, is to deal with the issue of discrimination, you don't intentionally discriminate. And that's exactly what we're being asked to do with the drawing of these two new maps.
Well, and I know another big fight is over Title IX, in particular, protecting women's sports. I believe I also saw last week that Javier Becerra, the HHS secretary there for the Biden administration, was saying federal funding might be pulled if you don't allow for transgender therapy, surgeries, these sorts of things. So where are we in this fight against the federal government when it comes to pushing transgenderism?
So, Joey, I'm going to go a little Joey on you and remind you of a statement that James Buckley once made, which was when you receive federal funding, you allow Congress to dabble in areas that the Constitution doesn't allow the federal government to do. And that's exactly what's going on here, is that Title IX, the only reason why these regulations are something that we have to deal with is because when you receive federal money for these programs, you're potentially subject to the laws that D.C. says and not the state itself. And here they want to change the definition of sex to include gender identity. They want to be able to allow for gender-based discrimination to include the failure to use the preferred pronouns of the individual that you're dealing with, and to invalidate the laws of the state that says that we're not going to let you choose where you identify to go to the bathroom with, nor do we want girls playing as boys in boys sports or boys playing as girls in girls sports. And uniquely, this is not a Republican-specific agenda. I actually saw a report of a recent Signal poll that showed 61% of Americans reject what the Biden administration is trying to do. But this is part and parcel of the effort of this administration to advance radical gender ideology that the people of Alabama don't accept. It's why we're fighting this gender-affirming care, which you and I have talked about, and I feel strongly that we're going to win on that case. It's why we push back against a program the Department of Agriculture has to be able to feed needy kids that need to make sure that they have a meal, and they want to be able to change that definition of sex to include gender ideology. It's why Javier Becerra with HHS now has a rule that talks about an unsafe foster home as one that won't provide gender-affirming care, won't use preferred pronouns, or won't let a child just dress according to the gender of their choice. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised at this, but pleased to see that I think it's now 18 states and maybe more are challenging Title IX and what they're trying to do with these new regulations. And we're excited about having a preliminary hearing here in front of Jackson and Birmingham in the coming weeks to allow Alabama to present that case.
Well, it seems that the issue of abortion is going to be a huge one in the upcoming election, just from a political standpoint. But what did you make of that in particular ad? I believe put out by Gavin Newsom of a look like a trooper, a state trooper, tapping a pregnancy test on a car, stopping a mother and daughter on their way out of the state. What did you just make of this propaganda?
Well, and that's exactly what it is. But look, if Gavin Newsom's coming after Alabama, I think we're in the right spot, right? It's why last year when I had Hillary Clinton and Gavin Newsom tweeting against me in the same week, it just reaffirmed that we know we're doing the right things for Alabama. He can misrepresent facts. He can not deal with what is the true situation in our state, but we are a pro-life state. We have it as part of our Constitution, and I think that's one of the things that many Alabamians are very proud of that we've done. It's exciting to know that when Dobbs came down, that Alabama was the first state in the union to be able to reinstate its law that had been held in abeyance as a result of the travesty that was Roe versus Wade. So to the extent that Gavin's taken notice of what's going on in Alabama, that's probably a good thing because California could use a little bit of Alabama and trying to make it a better state.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've been looking into going after folks that are trying to facilitate essentially people going out of the state. It would almost be like a business jumping in here to facilitate people leaving, right?
Yeah, I think what we've just identified is the fact that there is a criminal provision in our law that deals with the ability to charge for conduct that occurs out of state that would otherwise be subject to a criminal statute in Alabama. And obviously that's being litigated right now, so I don't really need to talk as much about it, but we're going to continue to make sure that we defend what is the law of Alabama, and we'll continue to do that until told otherwise.
Again, folks, we're talking to the Attorney General of the great state of Alabama, Steve Marshall. And, one thing that the state legislature tried to do this past session was to finally get gambling legislation done. They failed by one vote. And I saw a quote from Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter that, illegal gaming is just going to expand now in the state. So you're the Attorney General, to repeat myself. What is the status of so-called illegal gaming in the state right now?
Well, there's no doubt that we've got active cases involving multiple jurisdictions and multiple facilities where we're continuing to try to shut down those that are illegal. What we need to make sure is that local officials do their job when they find these illegal facilities. And I'll use Jefferson County as the example, is that when we had Mike Hale as the sheriff there were no illegal operations going on. You had a new sheriff that came in that said gambling is not going to be a priority for me. And what happened? You saw these facilities open up. I do think that local law enforcement has a responsibility along with local prosecutors, but also as the Attorney General, my job is also to be able to weigh in. I think you're going to continue to see us go after these illegal operations, but we'll also continue to make sure that local officials are aware of any information that we have and remind them of their responsibility to do the same.
And one final question, and I'll get you out of here. In Montgomery in particular, we've noticed a huge problem with officer recruitment and retention at the local police department level. It's not unique to Montgomery, but it is pretty acute here. And when you look statewide at trying to recruit and retain officers, how are we doing, and what sort of steps can be taken to really strengthen our law enforcement communities here, especially in our major cities?
Well, we need the public to support them, number one, is that to the extent that this narrative around defund the police, the Democrats advanced for so long, if we look at the consequences of that, A lot of it had to do with whether or not young people decided this is a place that I want to spend my professional career. And there's no doubt, and particularly in larger cities, particularly those controlled by Democratic mayors, we're finding difficulty in being able to recruit appropriate law enforcement numbers. And I think it's the responsibility of us as a general public to make sure that they understand, those being young people that are interested in this profession, that they're going to have the support of the community when they're willing to protect and serve and defend the lives of total strangers. We got to make sure they're paid appropriately. We got to make sure that they're compensated in a way that makes it more to their liking than to work, say, at some department store. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we're recruiting the right people. I mean, I can think of the mass number of folks that wanted to be a state trooper years ago, for example. We don't see those same numbers turning out right now, and I think that is partly a reflection of many who don't believe that law enforcement is supported as they've been historically, and we've got to change that narrative.
Well, I really appreciate your time and would love to have you in studio anytime you like. I'll get in touch.
I'm only coming if you only do the Lindsey Graham.
Well, of course I'll do my Lindsey Graham if you show up.
I will be there.
Thank you, General Marshall. Appreciate you, sir.
Take care.
Again, Steve Marshall, Attorney General of the great state of Alabama, and good to be connected with his folks. And yep, as we suspected, a lot of it has to do with the sheriff there when it comes to gaming, right?
Yeah, it sounds like we need to take our illegal gaming operation that we've been planning to Jefferson County.
Oh, wait, no. You need to run for sheriff somewhere.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
There's a lot of temptation with
No,
that.
I want to see the Oppo research that comes out on you once you decide to run for office.
Most of it I probably would be unfamiliar with, and you go, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, there was that. I forgot.
I remember.
Oh wow, she's still alive.
You know him as Eddie Bader, but do you know he used to go by the name of Randy?
Oh, I knew that was coming out.
Oh, what do you think the Oppo would be on me?
I think it'd be pretty clean, Joey.
No, I don't know about that.
I think it would line up there with some of the sounds rude saying this, but psychopaths that spend time alone, too much time alone.
Yeah. No, it'd be like Joey Clark questions things too much. It would probably be what was hit. Bradley Byrne would said he doesn't believe the Bible.
Oh,
it'd probably be that angle of attack.
That would be pretty tough in this town too.
Yeah, he doesn't respect our institutions.
Right. And then they probably got some stuff because you've been on radios.
Oh, yeah, I've said a lot of stupid crap.
And nowadays, they can kind of just jam words together. I mean, don't even have to be the real thing anymore. They can just take some sentences from over here and sentences from over there.
Man, I guess both of us would be pretty screwed if we ran for office. But we would have to do it like, you remember Glenn Jacobs, who's still mayor of Knox County, Tennessee? He is formerly, still kind of there. He's known as Kane in WWE.
That's what guy I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Is he really still the mayor?
He's still the mayor of Knox County. Yeah, and he's doing a good job. He keeps getting reelected. And it's a different structure up there in Tennessee, a little different than like we have with mayors of cities. Like, it's a big responsibility he has. Wow. But when he first ran, he just ran it as Kane set a woman on fire. Kane did this, it was all the antics he got up to in wrestling. So
it worked, right?
It worked. It's hilarious. So
I wonder if there's ever a candidate that can run for something, whether it be governor or mayor, and on a silly person, but go, look, guys, look around. I'm the best option you got.
Well, and we would have to run essentially a Big Jim Folsom campaign. And by that, I mean, if you set a trap with whiskey and women, you're catching Joey and Eddie every time.
Right. And probably with some campaign posters. So, I mean, who else is going to come to a campaign party if they know you got liquor and women? They're coming.
Right.
They coming, Joey. Yeah. Yeah, when are we going to start that? That sounds like really...
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have any connection still with Icy? Well, our kickoff party would be a big ice
machine in my basement.
Spiked Icy party. Yeah.
It worked. Well, it worked
really well. Found you a woman.
Yes, it did.
Oh, we got to hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you. And I look forward to seeing, I believe, Madeline tomorrow.
Really?
It's on the schedule.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Now, something might come up, but
I understand.
Of course, they can help you with buying a home, especially in this market.
Right.
You need local trusted folks who are going to walk you through that home buying process every step from pre-approval all the way to closing day. So it could be you have a little snafu that you don't understand when it comes to appraisals or when it comes to inspections.
That's right.
And of course, you have to start with pre-approval. It'll help you understand your budget. Seller's going to take you much more seriously.
Very seriously.
And, well, it's really just a great way to go about understanding what you can afford and what sort of home works for you. They actually get to know you there at Alabama Home Mortgage, unlike those online companies.
Right.
Yeah, those big national brands, it's not the same thing as a great local shop.
Not even close.
And, of course, they can also help you with a refinance deal. So maybe you're under mountains of credit card debt. If you have equity built up in your home, you can get that debt off your back.
That's right.
Or maybe you're looking to reinvest in yourself, your property, your family. Whatever the reason, Alabama Home Mortgage can help you meet your goals. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the river region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
I'm Cam Marston. My radio show and podcast called What's Working with Cam Marston focuses on the workplace, workforce, and marketplace trends shaping Alabama business. My guests tell their stories and discuss their business expertise in such a way that you and I can learn from them and apply it to our own world. Listen to What's Working with Cam Marston each Saturday at noon right here on News Talk 93.1.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Off-air conversation.
They are the best.
Will remain off-air. 272. Okay. 9228. That's 272-9228. Really great having Steve Marshall, the
that's great.
Attorney General of the state, on. And I think it's going to be, when you look down the road, probably him and Will Ainsworth,
Yep.
unless some dark horse appears in the race.
Have you seen anything in the horizon with a dark horse?
Who knows? But that's the nature of a dark horse. I mean, it could be, if somebody's got the charisma and the money, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but I like that. I like
And name idea is huge.
I like the idea of
So maybe some like huge country music star doesn't have a sordid past.
Well, that's
Football,
gonna be hard.
Football coaches, big football players, that can be
special teams,
pretty good
special
here.
players. Tuesday.
You've been watching the NBA playoffs?
I watched a little bit of it. Dude.
You've been watching the WNBA?
I watched maybe 3 or 4 minutes of a WNBA game the other night with
Caitlin Clark. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole reason I watched it. And
She's getting schooled.
Yeah. And they're doing it with intent, which is fine. That's just rookie stuff. That's
Right.
what happened. But it was still the most boring, god-awful basketball game ever.
2010, she had a double-double, but a shameful one. 20 points, 10 turnovers.
I
learned that watching PTI the other day.
I seen it volleyed back and forth 4 different times from court to court with neither one of them scoring.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not an enthusiast for women's sports. No, we
I
did
am
watch
on-
a little bit of softball.
The softball I love, but I am on some of them, but it's just WNBA
Watch
basketball.
any of the PGA Championship?
No, I can honestly say I did not.
I watched some.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It
I
was
enjoyed-
actually a pretty competitive
How'd the guy that got arrested
tournament.
do? How'd he do?
He had a great day the day he got arrested.
Oh, really?
Like the adrenaline was
Yeah.
still going. And the next day, and he talked about it after his round. It wasn't an awful round, but he said, I woke up and he essentially crashed from all that adrenaline and drama.
He doesn't look like the kind of guy that's gotten much trouble before.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's why I was surprised. I mean,
Well, and that's
to do
just
as
the
good as he
thing.
did that
Like
first
you're
day.
going to crash from
Oh, no doubt.
something like that, and he did. But it was competitive near the end. I actually enjoyed it, and I don't watch sports as much these days, and it's amazing how now baseball, golf, like I think hockey has this stuff too, where all the graphics and all the visual aids essentially they can now do in real time, like the arc of the ball and where it's landing, multiple camera shots. It's pretty incredible.
It is.
Makes it a little bit more enjoyable, easier to follow.
Easier to follow for sure. But
yeah. Well, essentially, like it reminds me of video games. So
Right.
when you can
That's- I think
see,
that's the whole reason
okay,
it's
here's
there.
the placement of the pen.
Yep.
Here's how the green runs. Here's the spots you want to hit. And it's like, can they do it? That's pretty cool. When you're being essentially let in on, here's all the intricacies. I enjoy that aspect of watching. Though I've never taken the time to get good at golf. You a golfer?
No, never really at all. I get in the
Yeah, I
cart
guess we're
and
never
have a
going to
tendency
be
to drive.
rich white guys at the
No, you
country
can.
club.
What I found you did, and I've done this at a Hyundai tournament, you hire a ringer.
A ringer?
Yeah. You fake an injury, and then you bring in a ringer all day, and you just sit on the golf cart and get
You
drunk.
mean
and
a ringer?
Yes. And you watch your ringer beat the crap out of everybody. It was a great day. I think I won like $300 too. By the way, my and I didn't bring him. I should have, but my nephew, he's like a world-class golfer.
No, my Uncle Scott was fantastic at golf. My Uncle Greg got pretty good at golf. My Aunt Karen was on the LSU collegiate team.
Wow.
Like, she was
That's
pretty
how
damn good.
my nephew is. He was on the Birmingham team. He was a teacher out here at Auburn for a while. He's a good golfer. He went to Thailand. I guess they take it more seriously over there. They went over there for a couple of years on a tour.
Right.
I know. I was like, what? Golf? What?
Golf.
But hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
but maybe we need to take lessons or something. No, though you and I know you and me, if we had a Top Golf here.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
We'd be doing
Yeah, I'd be all
like,
over that.
I went up there for an 1819 event. It was fun watching Brian Dawson. He had just hurt his back trying to swing a club. He was a champ about it, though.
Of course he is. He's a man, baby.
But, man, that was a fun time.
Yeah, a Top
I
Golf
would do
be
that
cool.
all the time.
Yeah, that would be pretty
It's
cool.
like bowling, but golf,
Mm-hmm.
the way it's set up.
And I've seen some of the videos where the people miss the ball or they hit the ball, but they still fall off the landing and they fall into the nets down there.
Well, and it's a fun way to practice in a certain sense. Like, okay. And at a certain point, it took me a while. I was able to start booming some. And I'm like, all right.
Now, have you seen, because I've only seen the videos, is it normal for people to drive one out of there?
None of those nets are usually pretty high.
In the videos, they usually,
I'm sure
one or two
like
guys will do it and then somebody can shut it down.
A pro or somebody real strong could probably catch one and get it over. But they put up those nets pretty daggum high. It's always a visual landmark. Like when you get close to them on the interstate,
Yeah,
they stand out pretty big.
I think the first one we ever saw was in Seoul, South Korea. And we were like, at first, it looked like literally a half-built building. And then you get to the other side, you go, oh, wait, that's a driving
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I wonder how much capital cost, though, it is to get one of those here.
Well, it's half a building. We've got some buildings that are already in half downtown.
I speak in thousands, not millions.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for you and me, I can tell you that.
Right. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, sure enjoyed the remarks from the Attorney General.
It was good to hear
Likewise.
from him. He's the last salvation that law enforcement officers have in this state, and every law enforcement officer ought to get on their knees and thank the good Lord that he's there, because these renegade DAs that are in certain jurisdictions, he's the only check and balance.
Mm.
Did you see? Did you see Hunter's latest defense? His defense team has come up with for his gun charge.
No.
Yeah, he's claiming that, and I'm trying. In 40 years of going to court and hearing all kind of defenses, I've never heard of that. It's not in the best interest of justice to have a speedy trial.
I don't want what is that, Sixth Amendment? I don't want those rights.
Right.
I don't want that speedy trial. And I'm thinking about how many people could have claimed that, and over the years, that you don't want a speedy trial, that there's no clear and present reason to have the trial right now.
Mm.
And that's his latest defense. But I'm still trying to figure out, gentlemen, how the case originated in California, ended up in D.C., but yet they're going to try it in Delaware.
Where did the gun infraction take place at? Do you know?
It started in California.
I would think that's where the whole kit and caboodle should be then, right?
He was forbidden person status in California, and then the gun was transported across the United States to D.C. jurisdiction. But I guess Daddy finagled it to get it put in his backyard.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, it's just a whole new ball game when you're dealing with the Bidens. But hey, did you see the wreck that happened this weekend in Chicago on the city streets?
No, I did not.
Two fatalities. One of them, 16-year-old athlete, and I think his girlfriend was in the car with him.
Mm.
A Mustang GT that was traveling over 130 miles an hour on city streets.
Wow.
T-boned them at an intersection, cut the car half in two.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, sooner or later, the car manufacturers are going to have to be like they're going to go after the gun manufacturers. They need to go after the car manufacturers And that's why traffic enforcement is so important, and especially with these type cars. I mean, that Mustang GT will go from, it'll go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds with a top speed of about 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's I get the need for speed. That can be a lot of fun, but doing it on roads like that, it just you're asking for tragedy.
It's just like the Alabama football player in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah. Same type accident. And when they're driving that fast, there's no way they can stop it in a clear intersection.
Can't react fast enough to begin to stop.
Oh no. But the troopers, if you talk to the troopers, they'll tell you they're writing more and more tickets of over 100 miles an hour.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Well, have a good day, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, Simpler Day.
Hey, did we talk about the cocaine that was found in the Capitol Police headquarters last week?
Cocaine?
Yeah.
Wait, where?
At the Capitol Police headquarters.
There was cocaine in the Capitol Police headquarters.
Yes. It was on the floor. Apparently, a very observant officer went by and saw the little white packet and bent down and picked it up and let everybody know immediately that he had found some cocaine. And lots of people are processed through there, so they never could decide exactly whose cocaine it was. But later on that afternoon, Hunter come by for something. So
yeah, cocaine found in hallway of Capitol Hill Police Headquarters.
We just need to go to D.C. They're dropping cocaine everywhere around up there.
In a press release Wednesday, is that how you say it?
That's how I say it.
Yeah. The agency announced that around 1 p.m., a roughly 1 inch by 1 inch bag filled with a white powdery substance was found in the middle of the floor at the U.S. Capitol Police Headquarters in D.C.
Yeah.
The cocaine was found on the second floor of the headquarters in an area that was used for storing furniture and other supplies.
Want to go do a bump up in the storage room, Joey?
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
What in the world?
Come on.
You riding with Biden or you going to do a bump with Trump? It's one or the other, all right?
Of course, little Marco's just going to do a little key bump there. Little baby Marco can't handle his weight, lady.
I saw that, and I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Wait, do we have drywall contractors in this place? What is
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Yeah, it could have been just like leftover. They just changed the wall.
It could be, but it's very seldom they put drywall supplies in a 1x1 baggie.
No, and I'm amazed. Like, well, we can't figure out.
That's the part I don't get.
Stuff. By golly jeepers, like,
dude, they can with a satellite they can tell if Joey picked his nose or not while he was walking down the street. But in a room like this that has 1,000 cameras in it, I don't know who that was. I mean, 1 minute it wasn't there, and the next minute it was. It's like the cocaine fairy come by. Man,
the cocaine fairy. 272-9228. That's 272-9228. Hey, before this break, how about we hit up some Peter St. On, shall we?
We shall.
New data says a house now costs nearly 8 times annual income. This is nationwide.
Yeah.
Woo! Let's listen in to Peter and his take. Just came out this morning. He said, "Oh, come on. Work already."
I thought you guys were friends.
It's just sometimes these computers here, they're
Okay,
against
Greg.
me.
Okay, Greg Beto.
They're against me, Eddie.
Okay,
let's try this again. Here it is.
A home in the United States now costs 7.6 times the median household income, which is almost twice the historic level. In fact, it's above the peak of the 2008 housing bubble. Meanwhile, according to the Fed, Americans expect home prices to keep going up by a median $20,000, that's 5.1%, in the next year, which is double the pace of last year. That, by the way, is the second highest reading, yes, even higher than the 2008 housing bubble. In recent videos, I've highlighted how hard it is for the young and the working class facing a ladder where the first 20 rungs have been knocked out. One survey found over 1 in 5 renters are now skipping meals or selling personal belongings to make rent.
1 in 5?
Yeah.
Holy crap. So this is like you're getting squeezed whether you're in a mortgage or not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and honestly, a lot of times rent is more expensive than the mortgage.
Let's continue on with Peter St. On.
Indeed, many millennials are giving up, resigned to renting for life and doom spending 3-day Caribbean cruises instead of growing a nest egg on which to build a family and, in theory, a retirement. I've also highlighted what's happening to the young as a result. They're turning from the middle-class American dream towards a nihilistic hand-to-mouth existence, feeling like a rat on a treadmill and pretty pissed off about the whole situation.
Well, better get some
As in,
cheese.
burn it down, pissed off.
Yep.
A main driver of this hopelessness has been housing costs. After all, when the Fed prints up trillions and dumps them into asset markets, housing is the main way that regular Americans can keep up. They can hook their net worth to that meth pump rocket sled. After all, just 20% of Americans own stocks directly, so housing is their retirement plan, and it's what protects their family from those soaring rents currently forecast by the New York Fed to rise nearly double-digit in the coming year. Now, that savior is fading. Since COVID, housing costs have doubled to nearly $3,000 per month, while the minimum income needed to qualify for the median home is in the 6 figures. That puts housing squarely in the category of science fiction for the vast majority of Americans in their 20s. So they get the Fed's inflation, but they've got no assets to pump. So what is driving house prices? The main driver, of course, is money printing. Since the Fed's COVID orgy, when nearly $1 in $3 had fresh ink on it, house prices rose nearly 50%, while broader inflation rose between 20 and 35%, depending whether you believe government numbers or proxies like fast food menus. So if prices rose between a fifth and a third, why did housing costs double? There we've got the Washington perfect storm made of higher mortgage rates, higher insurance, higher property tax, and coming next, green mandates that my colleague E.J. Antoni estimates could add another $31,000 to the average house price. Taking each, the mortgages went up because the Fed hiked interest rates, which it did to strangle the productive economy to cancel the inflation it printed. The utterly predictable side effect of sending mortgages from 3% to over 7%. Now, if you're borrowing $380,000, that's the median home with 10% down, the difference between 3% and 7% on a mortgage is roughly $350,000 in additional interest paid.
Damn.
Throw on soaring home insurance, up 20% in the last year alone, soaring property taxes, which escalate in lockstep with house prices, and those coming green mandates, that will add $31,000, but Biden's minions assure us we'll pay back in cheap electricity in 90 years. That is not a joke. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Millions of Americans have been holding their breath, hoping either mortgage rates come down or house prices come down. With inflation now reaccelerating, neither may happen for years to come. A new episode of the Roundup podcast just dropped. Check it out at petersaintonge.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, folks, that's Peter St. Onge. And Eddie, this is your field. Any lies detected?
No, not at all. In fact, interest rates, well, pretty much what he said, interest rates have gone up. Property taxes have certainly gone up, making life unaffordable for a lot of people. And as far as 10% down, I know that was always a big thing when I was young. You want to put 10% down on a house. I'll be honest, man, I've met and sold less than a handful of houses where people actually put that much money down. So it's even that much harder.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know. But
well, who has just 40 grand sitting around,
right?
50 grand sitting around.
And as far as what he says, and he's to a point, he's right. You know, instead of people saving up for a nest egg, they're doing the 3-day vacations and all that kind of.
Yeah.
I think youth is youth, and that's what's going to happen until you get in your mid 30s, maybe late 20s. But he is right. I see houses prices going up every day. I see reduction in inventory because the cost of building is so high. But not only that, what people forget about, and it's going up. I think he mentioned it. Home insurance. Home insurance is going up. For some people, it has doubled for no reason that they can't understand, except for you got to have it. So all those.
Well, the insurance companies are wise to what's coming down the road.
Sure.
This inflation ain't going away.
And a lot of them, they base your stuff on rebuild. So even though you have a $150,000 house, you're thinking, well, I need $150,000. Now it's going to take about $360,000 to rebuild that. So it's unfortunate. That's the position we're in right now, but it can, just as quickly as we got in this position, we can get back out of it with the right leadership.
Well, on that happy note, no, and I always love playing Peter St. Onge's stuff there. Dude is spot on.
Well, he lays it down there where you can get it, man.
We'll be right back, folks.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Hi, everybody. The weather news is pretty good as we start this brand new week with mostly clear skies tonight. Comfortable. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, mostly sunny. We'll be in the upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow. And I think near 90 on Tuesday and Wednesday, with the risk of widely scattered showers and storms holding off until sometime around Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hi, I'm Mark DePlanche with Admiral Movers. People ask, what makes Admiral Movers different from other movers? It's simple. We take pride in caring for our team, so we know that they will take care of you. All of our team members are Admiral employees. They are all fully background checked and trained in-house. We never hire day laborers. So for your next move, whether it's a commercial move or household move, across town or across the country, call Montgomery's favorite movers, Admiral Movers. Mention code SUMMER10 to save 10% on your next move.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. My name is Joey Clark. His name is Eddie Bader. And what we're calling this thing online is Joey Clark Live. It's the name of the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to Joey Clark Live.
Like and subscribe. Even comment.
And of course, you can always watch on the Twitter X platform at the Joey Clark. At the Joey Clark.
All right.
272-9228 if you want to get in, but hold your horses. First, we have Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
What's happening, Ray?
Hey, I'm glad to hear Mark DePlanche is advertising with you guys with Admiral Movers.
Oh, yeah.
Good folks.
I use him all the time.
Yeah.
And not because I'm moving all the time.
Say you're running from somebody, Ray?
Yeah, exactly. If you have like a major water damage.
Yeah.
And the whole house is flooded, and you got to replace the sheetrock, and you got to replace the baseboards and everything else. What do you do with your furniture?
Good question.
You call Mark. He comes, gets it. He hangs on to it. We fix everything in the house. We call Mark, and he brings it all back.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal.
It's a great deal. Really good deal. But anyway, I got off on a tangent on that one because I just heard his commercial. I'm going to call him when I get off the phone and say, hey, good job. They're great companies to advertise with.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then I just realized it's 3 o'clock already, and I have not eaten today. How did that happen?
Ray.
You're just working hard. You're on one of those intermittent fasting the fruitcakes out in California do?
No, not on purpose. It's just
okay.
You get here at 7, and next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock, and you're like, wait a minute, I've got to eat that. At this point, you might as well wait for supper, right?
Might as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, might as well wait for supper. And if you want to know why I forget about eating, call us at 285-8117, and when you see the prices that we're going to give you, you'll understand why we're so busy. But it all starts with that phone call, 285-8117. And don't forget, if you do have a water damage, you don't know what to do, call us. We deal with them all the time.
You helped some good clients of mine, Ray, and I'll always appreciate that, man.
So we're so much more than carpet.
Yep.
So again, that number 285-8117, and be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio with Joey and Eddie. Appreciate you, Ray.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray.
272-9228. So off air, we were looking at Rudy Giuliani's like New York City apartment.
Looks like a nice place, Joe.
It's his East Side apartment.
Moving on up.
Here, let's pull it up on the stream here. I guess that's the foyer, the opening room, the main one.
Looks like a foyer.
And then living room.
Got a little living room action there. It's nice.
So what do you make of that dining room's awesome.
The dining room I love that ceiling, all the woodwork there. Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's a study, I suppose, there with a fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Very
great
manly.
skyline view. And then that kitchen, very modern,
very
sleek.
modern, very pretty.
To me, I like this bathroom. Like that blue, purplish, black granite right there.
That granite or marble, but it looks beautiful.
That is,
That's
with
a
the
color
gold finishes.
Yeah, that's a color that poor people don't get to see much there, Joe.
No, we
I'm unfamiliar with that color there, Joey.
I don't know what that is, man. But he is slashed the price. So if you've got a cool $5.7 million, at least you can get your hands on financing for that. You could own Rudy Giuliani's East Side apartment.
I think we should call Madeline right now and present an offer.
Yeah, no banker will give us a loan that amount.
No, but we know Madeline, and they like to get to know us on a personal level. I got a feeling that she'll tell us no, too.
Eddie, we're a responsible company. We can't do this.
Right. Come on.
And you shouldn't even be thinking about it.
Can't help it. A place like that, who would not want to own a beautiful place like that?
So did we learn anything today?
Oof. Marco Rubio. Learned a little bit about that action today.
Yeah, little Rubio.
Yeah.
Holding his own on Meet
right
the
up there.
Press.
Yeah.
Actually was genuinely impressed.
I
with
was
him.
too. I didn't go into it thinking I'd be impressed at all, but he held his own. I love how he held her. You know, they love saying words mean things, words mean things. Well, he held her to the words that were actually in the statement. She didn't like that, Joey.
And of course, over the weekend, I learned what it's like to welcome a new family member into your heart. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is, man.
Holding my little 6-7 month old niece in my arms, feeding her.
Now, how many diapers we changed this weekend?
I did not.
Might need to graduate up to that, Joey.
Why?
You got to learn, Bubba.
If you start pooping your pants in here, I'm not going to help you.
You just going to leave me out on my own?
Yep. You better get the powder and ready to ointment to deal with your own rash, all right?
You got a garden hose?
You know, there are some people that can only go do that at home.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I have to shower afterwards. And there are days.
There are days, Joey.
You're like, this is just gross. I'm gross. Though the one thing you get, like looking at a baby, like especially one you really care about, and that's just some baby, like new member of the family, is you start to notice, like, well, we all used to be that thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're not that different. Like we're more in control of it. Like we literally built up walls and ways to. That's maturation. But all those emotions are very much still there in full-grown people. And it's kind of like when I saw her like get upset and just put her head in my brother's shoulder, cry, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been there. I was there last week.
It's funny with all my sister's kids, when there'll be a moment in time where they'll do a certain face or they'll do a certain action, and I can tell exactly who their parents are. They just match it 100%, you know.
Well, let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. Donkey Lori.
Hey, Lori. Lori?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I wanted to give your audience an idea as kind of a blessing to somebody. Go to your local shelter, Montgomery Humane Shelter, Prattville-Otaga Humane Shelter, Elmore County Humane Shelter, and don't drop a bag of cocaine in the hallway. That doesn't help us at all.
Cocaine.
But there are some really great stores with great prices and great flavors of Slurpees. Now, we call them ices in Florida, but they're Slurpees. And so I just stopped and got 16 Slurpees for my fellow co-workers at the shelter.
That's so nice of you.
Volunteers. And so you do you get the blue raspberry,
Yep.
get the Mountain Dew, you get the Coca-Cola, get whatever they got it's ready.
I like the Coca-Cola.
And so if you'll want to drop some caca off at your local shelters. It doesn't have to be cocaine. We won't accept that, but a Coca-Cola Slurpee is a great idea.
That's a wonderful idea. Especially today, on a hot day like today, I know they'd enjoy it.
Frozen Coke is pretty awesome.
You guys, I will never refer to cocaine again in my life as cocaine. Not that I make references to cocaine, hardly ever.
Yeah.
But it will forever be cocaine.
She don't lie, she don't lie, she don't lie. Cocaine.
Cocaine. Y'all have a super blessed day.
You too, Lori. Love you, honey.
Well, that's a good way to end the show.
She's such a great girl.
She really is.
Does great things. I know she gets embarrassed when I brag on it, but she does great things for the local canine population and the cats for that matter.
Though I've been talking seriously, and my grandfather's like, just don't get one that sheds. And I'm like, all the best ones do.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a girlfriend.
No, the dog.
My bad.
Or a cat, both.
Yeah,
Most
they
of the
do.
good ones shed.
Don't get a hairless cat because they're so ugly. I don't think you'd ever want to pet it.
No, that thing would freak me out in the middle of the night.
Right.
Joey. I love you.
Right.
He's like, no.
Snuggle me.
Yeah. Please leave me alone. I just wanted to tell you we found that you have outstanding taxes that you still need. Goodness gracious. But we're out of time here. So y'all stay tuned. Happy hour with the one, the only Greg Budell. Well, he's next, and a good show today. We'll be back, do it all over again at noon.
Mayana.
Tomorrow.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.